Hello. Hello again, guys. How's it going? We're live.
Are we?
Yeah.
This is too exciting, I think. Is it live? I can't see it. Oh, yeah, it is now.
It is live.
I had to check it because I was just like a bit paranoid. We've got 4 watching. Oh, we lost somebody already.
That's my fault.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's all right.
Do you want to wait for more people to come in?
We can still...
we're on 7 now. We're getting there. How's everybody doing in the chat? Is everybody doing all right?
Yeah. Oh, Eric's come on.
Oh, yeah. Future guest Eric.
Yeah, he's on next week.
What's the topic next week then?
I don't know.
Oh, we're on 10 now. Oh my god. You can say hello if you want, everybody that's watching. That would be nice.
Hope everyone's safe.
Yes.
Everything going on at the moment.
I hope you've all recovered from the 3-hour chat last week also.
I can't believe that went on for 3 hours.
I know. Hi, Carl. Again, I spoke to Carl earlier. He was telling me about his family dilemmas with Frozen 2. Guess how many times have you watched now, Carl? Share with everybody. Tell everybody your pain.
You know, I've got something similar with Trolls too.
How is it?
I've never actually seen it all from start to finish, but I've seen it all, if you know what I mean, because it's been on constant.
Oh gosh, yeah, I can imagine it's not exactly the 3 times a day since release. Wow. Wow.
Is that what Frozen 2?
Yeah, that's what he's been burdened with recently. He's trying to get the family to watch Zama and Caperanum with him, but it's a no right now, so it's not very fair, is it?
Yeah, my daughter's going through this whole because the Ghibli movies are on Netflix, so the amount of times we're watching Ponyo.
Yeah, but Ponyo's good though.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to say that. Ponyo is actually a good movie.
Yeah.
I love when Ponyo is running over the waves. It's just like
and they see him in the car.
Yeah. Oh wow. There'll be some Miyazaki talk tonight, I assume anyway. It seems like it. Well, potentially. We'll see.
We shall see.
We're on 10 now. Where did the 15 go? I'm paranoid.
We mentioned Frozen 2 and Trolls, so they probably just...
Yeah, probably. We did.
I thought that's what we'll be talking about, all this whole chat, Frozen.
Yeah. Oh, Roman's here as well. Hello, Roman from Paris. How are you, my friend?
The Red Turtle.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I've only watched it once, but it's definitely rewatchable.
Yeah, I think that's my favourite movie from last decade.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, stunning film. Yeah.
Not Spring Breakers?
No. I like Spring Breakers. I like Harmony Korine stuff. It's good, but the Red Turtle was the most universal movie I've ever seen.
Mm.
We do that. When I go around schools teaching film reviews, Red Turtle is one of those that we use to get them to watch because it's quite easy to combine so many elements of film with it. So, okay, do you want to start then, Huss? Or
okay, so what should we start with? I'm gonna start with my Western directors.
Okay, right.
So now, guys, the topic of this discussion Dion decided was our favorite directors.
I thought it was mutual agreement.
It is mutual though, because I've always wanted to do a discussion on this. But do you know, I absolutely hated putting this list together because I felt I was upsetting some of my favorite directors, and why should I leave them out? But it was really hard. It was a really hard list, and yeah.
I thought probably once we get the list out, we can always discuss everybody else anyway.
Yeah.
So
of course.
Do you know what I mean? So nobody will be left out.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Okay, Huss, you can go. You go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go start with Sergio Leone. I think he's, as a director, he did a genre that wasn't seen as beautiful, and he made that genre so beautiful, and it spawned a subgenre. I think if you look at Once Upon a Time in the West, and I'm not just going to talk about his spaghetti westerns. I mean, Once Upon a Time in America is brilliant as well, but Once Upon a Time in the West is one of the greatest films of all time. And some of the use of like simple shots, like the super zoom in that last shootout, is just beautiful. Like with Charles Bronson, and then you see like his face, you know, like the contours of his face. It's just such great portraits, and see Henry Fonda's eyes. I think he's such a great filmmaker. I don't think there's ever been anyone like him since.
Carl says that harmonica, which
yeah.
Yes. You know, I didn't even think of Sergio Leone for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I know. The problem for me is like I'm really bad with like 50s, 60s, like 70s era cinema. Like it's something that I've lacked quite a bit, and that's why I'm trying to improve on it. But obviously, I've seen Sergio Leone films, but it just didn't really actually hit me until then. He said that, and he said probably Leone's impact on cinema is just as big as what maybe Spielberg brought to the table, or Hitchcock, or anybody. So that's a very valid point, Huss.
Yeah, he was on my short list as well.
Was
never made it to the list, but he was on the short list.
Okay, so on two out of the three that thought of Sergio Leone. Okay, so that's okay. I need to rectify this.
Yeah.
Who else have you got then, Huss?
I put, this is someone I kept putting on and taking off on the list for my Western directors, was Ridley Scott.
Okay.
Interesting. So that's the thing, because I mean, if you look at films like Blade Runner and Alien, like those types of science fiction films. I mean, that goes back to another director that I've got on my list, who did science fiction films. Who did a science fiction film that was gritty, intelligent, and you know, when Blade Runner was 82, and you just think, what, that film was made in 1982, and it's just, I think it's beautiful. It's just intelligent. It's like the films he's made are just clever. I mean, also Gladiator is one of those films you could just hypes you up.
Yeah, I think what can you appreciate a lot about Ridley Scott is, as well, is like how well he makes big films on budget as well.
Yeah,
like he could. I don't know if many people know, but he does he reuses quite a lot of like scenery from like his older films and like reinforces them into his films. Like The Martian was like such a low budget compared to that type of like space film.
Yeah.
But Scott does that. You think about even with All the Money in the World, how he turned over changing Kevin Spacey to plumber, and then that's revolutionary stuff, and that's like history.
Yeah.
I am one of the few that like The Counselor. Okay, The Counselor is a pretty bad movie, but
yeah,
I think the whole Cameron Diaz scene on the car is a bit, Anyway, have you got any points to add about Ridley Scott, Graham?
Yeah, it's one of these guys that I like certain aspects of his movies. Some I'm not too keen on. Some of the more historical epics. I'm not one of the biggest fans of Gladiator or Kingdom of Heaven, things like that. I like his Alien, the movies that he did within the Alien franchise. I quite enjoy Blade Runner, some of his earlier stuff. But again, he's one of the guys that movies are genuinely solid more often than not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like him. I don't know if I would put him on my
list. Prometheus. I don't understand how people can hate Prometheus. But...
Prometheus is fantastic.
Exactly.
I think it's brilliant. Brilliant.
Cormac McCarthy for the win. Okay, Cormac McCarthy's a good author. I agree with that, Roman. But otherwise, I don't know. Who else have you got on the list, Graham? Host. Sorry.
I've got P.T. Anderson.
PTA. Yes. Why?
Boogie Nights. Hard Eight. I think. The Master. The Master. It's just.
There will be blood.
Yeah, there will be blood.
Threads.
Oh my god! Do you know?
Inherent Vice, Magnolia.
Inherent Vice, exactly. Do you know? He's just.
Yeah.
I saw a list once. It was online of directors that have not made anything that's not like a brilliant movie in like a certain period of time, and there was like a list of directors, and he was in there. It's just like because he never made a bad movie.
Yeah.
Like
a conversation like I've had in quite a few like PhD conferences about like modern masters, because I'm doing a PhD about Stanley Kubrick, but like you think of like who is like the heir to the throne of Kubrick, like in this modern era, and a lot of us do actually say PTA is as close to what Kubrick is, I think personally, even though he's not like gone to doing maybe horror or sci-fi just yet, but what PTA has brought to cinema in his career is massive, and I feel like he doesn't make that many bad films, even though some people such as the Kuckerberg says that Inherent Vice is not great, but some people actually love it.
I like it. Yeah.
But but again, that's the joy of cinema, isn't it? So it's always the same. But
P.T. Anderson's one of those directors that every time I see something, I'm kind of marveled that somebody created that, and it's just wonderful. But then I have blind spots in his filmography as well, and it's the bigger ones I haven't seen.
Now's the best time. Now's the best time for the big PTA movies, definitely.
Well, there's two I haven't seen, and that is The Master and There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
You got great things to look forward to.
Yeah, great things indeed.
Really.
Yeah.
I like that when you've got great movies to see from a director that you've seen his other work, and you've got two of his best movies to watch. That's really exciting. I wish I could feel that again.
Yeah. It's the same like Phantom Thread. Like I adore Phantom Thread. It's like one of my favorite films of like the last 10 years. It's so good. I just love like that, like slow pacing the drama into it, just how disturbing it is. Like it's always I can rewatch that film all the time, and I think it's like one of my favorite Johnny Greenwood scores as well that he's made for PTA. You know, you got one of Radiohead's finest musicians creating like beautiful scores for that guy, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Who else have you got on your list of this?
I've got another Anderson, Wes Anderson.
Yes.
I think
definitely, man.
Just
go for it.
For the dialogue in his films, the aesthetic, it's just, I mean, he's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what's your favorite Wes Anderson film?
My favorite Wes Anderson, I mean, Rushmore. It's Rushmore.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like Rushmore. I'm a bit on the fence for that with Rushmore, but I do like it. I think mine, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, is the first one I watched.
Yeah, what about yours, Graham?
A choice between the Grand Budapest Hotel and the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is prime. Moonrise Kingdom is another good one. Premium Blu-rays.
It's great.
I'm really looking forward to seeing French Dispatch. It's we've it sounds really good. Like obviously it was meant to be at Cannes, but Cannes delayed. But it's been pushed to October, release date wise now as well. So yeah. What you got? 2 more, right?
I've got one more.
Oh, one more. Okay. Who's the last one?
And it's Kubrick.
Kubrick.
Yeah. Just, I know it's a bit of a cliche. I probably was he on your list?
No.
Amazing.
I'm sick and tired of like Stanley Kubrick.
Really?
Yeah, purely for the reason because obviously I'm researching for a PhD, so I'm like, I can't even watch his movies anymore.
The master of all genres.
He is, yeah. Eyes Wide Shut is my favorite Kubrick, though, by the way.
Yeah, mine's Doctor Strangelove.
Doctor Strangelove is a laugh and a half.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but I think Kubrick is, yeah, everybody needs to, and you know, he is like he's on a different like pantheon to most directors, isn't he? That's the thing.
God level, isn't he?
He is, and I think that's why I left him out. Because it's so hard to like say that.
I know. I felt like it's a bit of a cliche, putting him and Leone on there, but I just couldn't think of like directors that I love more. I mean, someone's just mentioned Cronenberg. I mean, I wanted to put him on there as well.
Oh, Cronenberg, yeah, I love Cronenberg. Yeah, like even like recent Cronenberg, they're pretty good. Like his son's even has made a couple of horrors now, right? As well, he's got one coming out this year. Is it? What is it called? Possessor? Possession?
Yes. Possessor.
Yeah, that's coming out. It's coming out in America soon, so I'm sure it'll be out in the UK soon as well. But I really cannot wait for that. Cronenberg is like, Videodrome is phenomenal.
I know.
Yeah,
one of my favorite Criterion.
Yeah, I got the Arrow, but
I like, and that's just because the film is, you know.
Oh, Andre's in the chat. Hello, Andre. Nah, so good, man. Like, Cronenberg, magical, love it. I liked your list. Very broad.
Yeah.
So Graham, who have you got in your top 5 Western directors?
Okay, I have got the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
Which is my first one. Just looking at their filmography, you could list almost every one of them as being great films. Look at the first 4 films they started off with: Blood Simple, Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink.
Mad.
Yeah,
nobody has any right to have such a varied and different kind of movies, and all of them be stone cold masterpieces.
Yeah.
They create quirky, remembered characters that you stick with you long after the fact. Their plots are often quite intricate and add a lot on repeat viewings. Certain movies that they've done are just stone cold favourites of mine. Even things like Inside Llewyn Davis. I love that movie.
What a movie.
But I can't tell you why. But I absolutely adore it. I think
it's therapeutic, isn't it? I think that's the best way to say it. Like, even the music and that's fantastic.
Yes.
Like, and Adam Driver's little cameo in it, I always just like outer space. I love it every time. So good.
Yeah.
Serious Man's my favorite Coen Brothers.
If I was to pick a favorite, it's probably between Miller's Crossing and The Big Lebowski. Not saying it's their best movie, but personal favorites.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I think with the Coens, like it's always a personal favorite. Like for me, Burn After Reading is like a big rewatchability. But it's like it's a film that me and my girlfriend have watched repeated times because we just love watching it. We can just put it on in the background because it's so stupid.
Yeah, I love the reveal of the machine he's been building.
Yeah, exactly. But the Coens. It's like, what did you think of Buster Scruggs?
I liked some of it. I think some of the stories were stronger than others. I loved the opening one, which was brilliant. Tim Blake Nelson was just hilarious.
And that opening, that opening is brilliant, isn't it? I do.
Yeah, I think. You can see why it was supposed to be a 6-part series.
Yeah.
There's one story midway through, I think it's the 4th, which is about 30-40 minutes, which is a young girl traveling across the plains.
Oh, yeah, the one with Zoe Kazan, right?
Yeah. That feels like the most kind of complete story out of them all, but I really enjoyed it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I like the bit with the guy who reads like Shakespeare.
Yeah, he's from Harry Potter, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's Harry's cousin. So Steve Curtin says that shame that John Turturro's Jesus has been delayed. I didn't realize it was actually delayed here. I've got a screener for it, but I haven't actually watched it yet.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
It's a remake of a French movie.
Is it?
Yeah, but just the character of Jesus put into it. It's really weird and off kilter. I can see a lot of people being put off by it because it's nothing like The Big Lebowski. Yeah.
Roman said Hail Caesar isn't a pretty underrated gem. Definitely.
Yep.
I totally agree with that. Andre says Big Lebowski is my favorite. Coen Brothers, Jeff Bridges as the dude is awesome. The dude abides. Cal says just bought Buster Scruggs from Stinky Tuna. Buster Scruggs.
Everyone's been messaging me. Have you heard of Stinky Tuna? I go, yeah, but
What is
I mean,
Stinky
I'm so
Tuna?
tempted to pick up some of their stuff. Have you never heard of them?
No.
They release Blu-rays of Netflix exclusives, but they do it in a way which is legal.
Oh, okay. So you can get Okja and Blu-ray.
So check them out. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I would just get that just to complete my Bong Joon-ho set, to be honest.
My June Hosting collection.
Yeah.
It's the only one.
The new Lebowski Jesus spin-off was trash. It's so bad. Love it. Okay, so what else have you got, Graham?
I have got Steven Spielberg, simply because of Indiana Jones, Jaws, Jurassic Park, amongst others. He was the blockbuster mainstay. His movies had spectacle and heart at them as well. The way he kind of jumped in and out of genres later on, between drama, sci-fi, kids movies, blockbusters, he touched on everything. You look at the years he was knocking out 2 movies, Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. That's not fair.
That's
not fair.
Mad.
Yeah. Kubrick, do you know Stanley Kubrick was actually meant to release a Holocaust film called The Aryan Papers, but then he didn't want to compete with Spielberg's Schindler's List, so he stopped making it.
Oh, right.
So yeah, see,
yeah.
my academic studies are coming out here now.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's crazy to imagine if there would have been a Kubrick Holocaust film and a Spielberg Holocaust film the same year.
Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
Been amazing.
Which one would have won the Oscar?
Kubrick, obviously.
You know what they say.
I really was in 2 minds about putting Spielberg on the list because it feels a bit too on the nose. But to be honest, there was a lot of movies that kind of formulated my youth.
Well, exactly. That's the thing, isn't it?
Jaws.
Like,
Jaws is. I mean, that's my favorite Spielberg
Jaws.
movie.
Yeah,
I just think it's just. It's perfect. It's an absolute perfect movie.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's like Jaws is my favorite, but Jurassic Park was the first film I ever saw in the cinema. I still remember, when they see the dinosaurs for the first time and that music comes up. I still remember sitting in the cinema watching that, having goosebumps. It is a quintessential part of like my cinema experience. But
Carol in the chat's just mentioned Ready Player One, and I rewatched that recently, and that is a hell of a lot of fun. That's back to the good days of Spielberg blockbuster movies.
It is definitely. I think it's a fun film. I personally, I'm not a massive fan, but I like the reshooting of the Overlook Hotel was impressive, most definitely. But it's definitely a fun film. Like if I just wanted to watch something simple, I would definitely put it on. I do enjoy it for that, most definitely.
Richard Attenborough was the chancellor of my university. So when you graduate, he gives you your certificate. And I went up to him and I said, I loved you in Miracle 34th Street.
Yeah.
It had me in tears. And my mate goes to him, I loved you in Blue Planet.
Oh, God.
And I was like, do you know who you're talking to?
Do you know when you shook his hand, you should just said, welcome to Jurassic Park. Oh my gosh. The Kookaburger. I heard Snowpiercer is getting UK Blu release. Not seen it, but more UK Bong is always a good thing. Yeah, it's out. Lionsgate releasing it on Monday. Is it Monday? I think it's Monday. Or the Monday after. It's really soon, but it's about time.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys hate AI back in the day, but now love it? Seems like many had the experience with that movie, including Commode. Yes. I actually had my paper about Kubrick's about childhood. So like understanding like why Spielberg and Kubrick worked on that film together. I find it a lot more interesting. And I really like Jude Law's character in that film as the gigolo. But do you guys like AI or no?
I saw it when it came out and I haven't revisited it. But
it's trippy.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I rewatched it like a couple of months ago, but it is a really trippy movie when you watch it now.
It is.
So it's worth a watch.
Okay.
Well, a rewatch anyway. Who else have you got?
I've got Alfred Hitchcock. Now, the reason he's on the list is, well, he's bloody awesome. But other than that, it was that my kind of gateway into older movies as well. When I was getting into film, I discovered Rope late night.
Oh yeah, Rope is fantastic.
yeah, and I was just blown away with that movie and started delving into more. Rear Window was for the longest
Rear
time
Window, yes, my
one of
Mm.
my favorite Hitchcock movies, and then
Yeah.
it just leads you down the path of like Psycho and different movies, The
Mm.
Birds, and then you go back to The Lady Vanishes and 39
Mm.
Steps, and you start to discover all these wonderful movies that are staged perfectly.
Mm.
You know, and it's not just, nobody can recreate Hitchcock as we've seen somebody
No.
try with
No.
the
Gus
Psycho.
Van Sant. Oh
It's
god,
just-
yeah.
But
I
Hitchcock
find
to me
that film
just-
easily rewatchable though. The Gus Van Sant version.
it's been a while
Don't
since I've
ask me
seen
why.
it, but I'm really curious again.
Yeah,
Check it
it's weird. I think the colorization of that film is just so bizarre anyway. But like the fact that I don't even know why you would attempt it. You know, like Ben Wheatley is remaking Hitchcock's Rebecca,
Rebecca, yeah.
but from what I've heard, it's actually going to be a lot different to Hitchcock's version. So I appreciate that you're using a book that maybe one of the masters of cinema has made, but evolving it into something of your own. And obviously Ben Wheatley is such a unique director. At least you know you're going to get something different from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can respect that. But when it came to Van Sant, no.
So just quickly, what is your favourite Hitchcock movie?
Mine, Birds.
Us?
Rear Window.
Yeah, okay. I'm torn between Rope and Rear Window. Those are my favourite.
Okay.
Next on my list, I've got the wonderful John Carpenter. I'm a horror guy, and I love him. His 10-year stretch from 78 to 88, there's not a misfire in amongst them all. I love those movies, and I know a lot of people go on about The Thing, rightfully so. It's a terrific movie, but Weird Oddities like Big Trouble in Little China
And They Live,
and They Live are wonderful.
I know.
The odd one out, Starman, even that is just so wonderful to watch. The music, the aesthetic, the way he jumps right into a story, and there's pretty much no fat on anything.
No.
It does, especially in this period. And being a horror guy, it was another one that kind of transfixed my childhood, and not particularly Halloween. I'm not thinking that Halloween is one of John Carpenter's best movies. You know, if it's a stock and slash thing, it got me start, but I think the more interesting work comes far later from that.
What else have we got? Okay, back to Hitchcock quickly. So Roman says Notorious is his best. I watched Notorious in the cinema last year, and I thought it's definitely high tier. Definitely. Stiff Kitten says Birds. Chris says watch Dial M for Murder in 3D this Easter. It was fantastic. I didn't even know there was a 3D version of it available, but okay. Asian movie enthusiast says Big Trouble in Little China is the film I've rewatched the most in my life. Yeah, it's
Probably
definitely
me too. Yeah.
Gung Fu says Graham needs to check out Daisuke's channel as he loves John Carpenter. I've seen his videos on Carpenter recently. Thing is the best, no doubt. Gung Fu says love Halloween, the first one. Carl says watched Halloween with a handwritten note from my dad giving me permission to rent in the VHS, which I did nearly. That is amazing. That is actually really good. We've got more Hitchcock in North by Northwest. Do you know I'm on the fence for North by Northwest? I think it's fun, but it's not my favorite personally. But what do you guys think of North by Northwest?
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
liked
Yeah. Okay. Roman says love Prince of Darkness, a film that genuinely made me freak out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Prince of Darkness yet. But
Prince of Darkness is I love it just for the 14-minute credit sequence at the start. Like, there's no reason for it to be 14 minutes long, but it's it's awesome.
Johnny's asking you have favorite film music composers. Hearing a lot of Francois de Roubaix. Who's your favorite film composer? Oh God, I know it's going off track, but we might as well entertain our friends too.
I don't know.
My composer for you, Ennio Morricone has like high tier composer for me. Like what he did, what he's done for like cinema is mental. See, Roman says the same, but like recently, like I said, Johnny Green is probably one of my favorite composers now. All the scores he does for Paul Thomas Anderson are fantastic. Yeah. Even like Tom York is doing like good scores. Like his score for Suspiria is
wonderful.
Exactly. But okay. Right. So who's next on your list, then, Graham?
Last is Quentin Tarantino.
QT.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He is, for me, the only filmmaker where I'm genuinely cannot wait for his next movie to land in the cinema. It's an event. It's not just a new release. It's something to be worked up and really chewed over. You know, like I find these movies get better on rewatch as well.
Yeah.
You go in, you see a movie, you walk out, go, that was great. You go in, see it again, you start to notice all the nuances, the references, how the characters build, how the situations add up to the finale, and you're just marveled that it's getting made. Like, I remember going to see Inglourious Bastards, my favourite Tarantino movie, and
Same.
I was expecting that the World War II guys like fighting back against the Nazis. And I didn't get that. I got a sit-down talkie piece of Shoshana and her story.
Yeah.
And that was way better than anything I could possibly have hoped for. Shoshana and Hans Landa are two wonderful characters in an amazing movie that
Definitely.
I don't think he's ever going to top, to be fair.
I fell in love with Melanie Laurent after that film. Like, I watched most of her French films after that. You know, her dad, I don't know if Roman knows it. I correct me if I'm wrong on this now, but her dad is the voice of Homer Simpson in the French version of The Simpsons.
Oh,
right, okay.
I'm full of fun facts, me. So, no, I definitely think Tarantino is like one of these directors that everybody is just. He's such a good point, like entry point to cinema as well. Like you go to Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, anything, but definitely like Inglourious Basterds. I went to see that film 5 times on opening week because I loved it that much. Like it was my first date with my girlfriend, and I've been with her for 10 years now.
It's very accessible. It's
it's crazy. Like that's the thing. I do love his films. Like even Death Proof. I think like Death Proof is like, you know, and even the stuff he writes, like even what was it? True Romance, and then Dust Till Dawn is another one. Yeah, exactly. Like. So it's always I've always would have been fascinated to see how his Bond would have turned out.
Or his Star Trek.
And Star Trek as well, yeah. It's crazy. Like,
what's your favourite? So both of you saying
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious. Mine's Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
But he's one of those directors where whenever I watch a movie, I go, that's my favourite. You know, whatever. If I watch Pulp Fiction, that's my favourite. If I watch Django, that's my favourite.
Yeah. I had this weird.
If I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Inglourious Basterds is my favourite.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like I find it a really weird film because it's not really about anything, but it's still an entertaining movie.
I like
and the score as well.
75%.
Yeah, the ending, the last like 10-15 minutes is crazy.
Anything with what's her face, I can't be bothered with in the movie. Margot Robbie.
Fair enough. Let's see what everybody says in the chat. Do you think he will really quit movies after one more? No.
I hope not.
It's showmanship, I think, more than anything else. He's just trying to be like emulating other directors that have said the same thing. Andrew says favorite is Jackie Brown.
I think he's got a way of getting you into a certain genre of films as well. So like, because they're all so different, and they're not just genres, but they're types of films.
Yeah.
For instance, like Death Proof gets you into that whole era of grindhouse cinema, and you know those canon films, and like Reservoir Dogs was really inspired by 80s Hong Kong cinema, and you know you've got spaghetti westerns in there, and it's something for everyone, really. I mean, Kill Bill was just inspired by Shaw Brothers movies. And it's just
yeah. What else have we got in the chat? Only Tarantino film I like is Reservoir Dogs. He also looks like a leprechaun. Roman says he didn't know that Melanie Laurent's father is Homer Simpson in France, though nobody likes Melanie Laurent in France. Well, I like Melanie Laurent, so it's okay. And he also says Reservoir Dogs. Kuckerberg says Death Proof. Even Quentin Tarantino said himself he wishes he did not make it. I still like that film. I think it's just like stupid B-movie stuff. Never understood the love for Kill Bill movies. Then again, if you've seen a lot of martial arts films, it's just pasted together for a general audience. Fair? Okay. We'd love to see QT do a horror. He is good at tension building. Yeah, I can imagine him making horror. but what is the question? Like, I can imagine he'd tackle like a proper like 50s like type of horror film, not like a Stephen King novel or anything like that. But well, Robert Forster in Jackie Brown is one of my favorite performances in a Quentin Tarantino film. Asian movie enthusiast says maybe Tarantino will retire after every film and then come back like Miyazaki. Yeah, I can see that. QT praising Battle Royale in the day got me interested in subtitled Japanese films. We actually said that the other day, didn't we? That he did bring a lot of people into like Asian cinema. Like, if it wasn't for him, like most of us wouldn't know who Wong Kar-Wai was. So QT's movies are fan films, and then we've got anything from Pam Grier, though. Yes, definitely. I watched Foxy Brown last night for the first time, and it's so much fun. But yeah, no, I like it quite. Yeah. Anything else you want to add with that, Graham? Or
I've got some honourable mentions. People that I had to cut off.
I love honourable mentions.
I'll run through the names, and you can pick out anything that you want. Billy Wilder. P.T. Anderson, Wes Craven, Sergio Leone, Dario Argento, Sidney Lumet, Steven Soderbergh, Martin Scorsese, Richard Linklater, David Fincher, Chris Nolan.
I'm surprised nobody said Fincher yet, actually.
Yeah.
Because Zodiac is one of my favourite films.
Yeah.
Okay. Dario Argento, I definitely agree as well. Like, he is... Oh, yeah. Just all of his work is just fantastic.
He's a great writer as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yeah, definitely. Tenebrae is a fantastic film. It's one of my favourites. But I definitely agree. Who else do we have? Soderbergh.
Billy Wilder.
I'm a bit... Billy Wilder. Do you know what? I will admit this. I've never seen a Billy Wilder film in my life. And I'm hoping to improve this. So... I know you're a big Billy Wilder fan.
Yes.
Honestly, when I was thinking about this list yesterday, I was like, I bet you Graham's going to put Billy Wilder in the top 5.
Nope,
how wrong was I?
Close.
It was close.
Yep.
What's the good?
Quite a good one. I think he's.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What would you say is a good Billy Wilder start point, though? Like, where would you start with Billy Wilder if you were like a novice?
I would go for Double Indemnity is good. That's a good starting point.
Yeah.
It's a simple one, but it's interesting enough.
Okay, I will start with that then. Sorry, Karen, with your Sidney Lumet.
He's one of these guys that's done so many amazing movies, but nobody ever talks about him, really. You know, just the span of his career and how it worked. Like, even, look, he did one of my favourite movies with 12 Angry Men. Which is just stunning, and then straight into the 70s, the Anderson tapes, Serpico, and all these things. Dog Day Afternoon.
Serpico, brilliant.
Such a good movie.
It's just one of those directors who you don't realise until you throw something on, and then you're like, hang on, wow, I'm in for something special.
Wow. Okay. Eric is asking, what about Michael Mann and John McTiernan? Michael Mann. I'm a bit on and off with Michael Mann personally. Like, what was it? Black Hat?
Yeah.
I hate Black Hat with so much.
Yeah, I wasn't keen on that.
So I think that's kind of... I actually do appreciate like Michael Mann as a director, but like Collateral is phenomenal. I think it's like definitely one of the like best like lit films of like the 21st century? Yeah, 21st century. Like, definitely agree with that. John McTiernan, I don't know.
Predator, Die Hard, Hunt for Red October. They're good movies.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah. This is why this list is so hard, but it's so good to see what everybody else has to like add to this discussion. Watch Fincher's The Game the other day. It's such an underrated film of his, plus Trent Reznor score. Trent Reznor, he's another good composer. The Game is a really good film, actually. I think didn't like Michael Douglas like make this during his like crazy period anyway, like with Basic Instinct and everything like that. So I do like it. Can't stand Collateral. Ooh, okay, we're gonna have to have words about that later. Heat is a masterpiece in my
very good film.
Last of the Mohicans, one of my fave films. Collateral, one of the only Cruise films I can watch. How about Magnolia? He's really good at Magnolia also. When are you guys making your favorite movies of all time list? Oh my god.
I can't do that.
yeah.
Mine changes all the time.
I think maybe that would be a good discussion, like maybe before maybe this whole lockdown's over, because that'd be like quite a good way to end this like lockdown discussion. Maybe. But that is a fair point.
That's hard.
But that requires a lot of thinking and jotting
I've
down.
always stayed away from that on my channel because
Yeah.
it changes so often.
Yeah.
It's just
I've tried to do it just personally for my own list, and it's almost impossible. You keep forgetting things.
Yeah.
And...
I made a list on my letterbox and I deleted it because I was just like, this is...
I did the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a top 10 movies of all time on Letterboxd, and just now it's sitting about 170. That's a top 10. I'm just like, I can't take things out. I can't whittle it down. It just too hard.
Fair enough. We've got what else have we got here? Going through says, has anyone mentioned Frank Darabont, Shawshank, Green Mile? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, that's another one. Manhunter was on Mubi recently. Manhunter is a very good film, actually. I will admit that. It was on Mubi recently. I did see it on Mubi. If anybody's interested, the new Wong Kar-Wai's My Blueberry Nights is on Mubi right now. If you want to check it out, I watched it earlier. Wasn't a fan. Even if you break up your favorites by decade and country, it's difficult. Definitely, Eric. I completely agree with that. And then we've got Michael Mann films. Adore Michael Mann films, but Collateral is a dead spot for me. Okay, fair enough. The Apartment is a classic. Obviously, yeah, The Apartment. I've still not seen it, but again, I promise I will improve on that. Okay. Do you want my list?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not ranking it. It's hard. But I put Paul Verhoeven in my list.
Oh, nice.
Purely for the reason Paul Verhoeven is a pervert like me. I just enjoy his cinema. Like, I do genuinely feel like Showgirls and everything like that is one of the most interesting films just about sexual exploitation and just Las Vegas life in general. Then you go to talking about Starship Troopers, which is a very great anti-war film in general. I just love the way that he uses public announcements and trying to drive people into a better world, but clearly it's not. Black Book, I think it's a very good period film. Yeah. I honestly can't. Obviously, Elle. Elle was messed up, but in a fantastic way. Exactly. There is just so much about Paul Verhoeven that I think he just creates such true cinema, and he's not scared of portraying his opinions on things. So I do definitely see Verhoeven being that, and obviously he created one of the best like action films in Robocop. Like,
I was going to say, what's your thoughts on Robocop?
I love Robocop.
It's a very anti-capitalist film, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So why could you not like it? I think. And then
I like his Total Recall with Arnold.
Yeah, Total Recall. Exactly.
It's like a smart sci-fi, and it touches on themes in there as well of lower classes and things. So.
And I think definitely when you talk about Verhoeven, it's just like he's channeled the way of working in major film and also creating very good intricate cinema also. You know, even with Hollow Man, which I don't think Hollow Man is a good film, but still he managed to get one of the big universal monsters and created his own interpretation of it. And obviously when that is it like, do you remember when the gorilla just like comes back and then you see like, it's so crap, but at the same time, it's so interesting. Like, going through Basic Instinct is a masterpiece. Yes, it is. And I think it is like so close. I would say if Alfred Hitchcock was alive in this point in time, he would have created a film like Basic Instinct. Definitely highly sexual, very tense. Just even to the last frame of Basic Instinct, when she is going for a dagger or is she not going for a dagger, it just keeps you going until the end. So that's why
Hitchcock was a pervert himself.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Well, we all know that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a pervert, by the way.
So, no, but I'm saying like, do you know? I want to see more of his older films, like his Dutch films that he did with Rutger Hauer.
There's a few good Dutch films.
Turkish Delight.
Turkish Delight is like really good. Like, I've been reading a lot.
That's another one, isn't it?
I'm actually reading a book at the moment. It doesn't suck. Showgirls. Like, this is actually quite a good book about it. But like, I'm I'm planning to make video essays, and then Showgirls is going to be like one of my first video essays. So, yeah, definitely. What are your favorite like Verhoeven films?
Like my personal favorite, Robocop. It's endlessly quotable. Just a side thing, nothing special. But whenever I throw a spider out the house because I'm a male, I need to deal with it, I always say, "Can you fly, Bobby?" Just as a throw.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Yeah, it's my favorite quote from the movie.
Give me my fucking phone call.
It's like it's the bad guys in it. Like in any other movie, those guys would be accountants. And yet Paul Verhoeven's went, nope, you're going to be the gang. That's it. It's just
fantastic.
Mine's Total Recall.
Yeah, great. Love it.
Yeah. That's to do with the divorce.
Yeah. It's weird how like his films are like so accessible, but like once you go through down the rabbit hole of his films, you're just like, wow, this guy is very interesting. Like even if you listen to him do like a Q&A, he just doesn't care what you have to say. Like he's just like, this is how I make my films. This is my observation of the world. Accept it or don't accept it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I can appreciate him as an artist, but I appreciate his films just as much. So yeah.
I do. I really want to get into his Dutch filmography.
Please go for it.
Because when I was in Amsterdam, people were saying like they were talking about old Rutger Hauer films. They were saying he's just like some of them are amazing.
Definitely. So the next step on my list is Lars von Trier. Do I have to say anything else about that? I think Lars von Trier, I feel like he just creates really interesting cinema. Like I think like Dogville is so good. It's a 3-hour. I don't know if anybody's not seen Dogville. It's just a 3-hour film, and it's like all set out as a play. Starring Nicole Kidman. I'm not going to say anything else about it, but it's really worth your time. Melancholia, I think, is one of the best apocalyptic films like I've ever seen in my life. The House That Jack Built, I really love that film. Like I was in Paris to see it before it came out in the UK, like a few months before it came out. And I was just like such in awe of it. It's one of my favorite like films of his because it just shows Von Trier for what he is. Obviously, Dancer in the Dark is another one that is phenomenal. Like Bjork's performance in Dancer in the Dark is so depressingly good. Breaking the Waves, one of the most such a sad film. Nymphomaniac Part 1 and 2. There's just a way that he just shocks people, but at the same time, he really has a very interesting way of showing people about mental health, just about the stance on humanity, on how we treat each other. I just really enjoy his process, even though I think he's a very unique character within life itself. He really evokes something out of me. Like even in Antichrist, which is a film that you should really hate to your core, I find it utterly fascinating. Like Stiff Kitten says, Antichrist, Melancholia was bored by the first half, but loved the second half. The second half is phenomenal. The Kingdom is his 90s TV show. Is my favorite. Yes, Kingdom is another one. So good. Anyone got Brian De Palma in their list? No, I do not have Brian De Palma.
I love Brian De Palma though.
Phantom of the Paradise is my favorite De Palma film. Melancholia is about the end of the world. So that's what's not to love about that exactly. The House That Jack Built was amazing. Antichrist was very disturbing, but loved it. My next on my list is Claire Denis. She is one of my favorite directors like in the world. Trouble Every Day is one of my favorite films. It's like a vampire French film, which I truly find utterly fascinating. High Life with her and Robert Pattinson recently. I was utterly floored by it. I thought it was such like avant-garde sci-fi, and just the way that it tackled childhood and fatherhood was really interesting. And I think it's one of my favorite Robert Pattinson performances. Beau Travail, as I mentioned in the last chat, is one of my favorite films I've ever watched. I could talk about Claire Denis a lot, but I'm just gonna, if people haven't seen any Claire Denis films, just go for it. She has just so many like interesting films like Bastards, White Material. You could just dig into it a lot. And just not be bored. Have you guys see any Claire Denis films?
I don't think I have.
Go for it. Honestly, she has such like a unique focus on film, and just the way that she just choreographs a story in general is something that I'm so immersed in. Once you start watching the film, you cannot do anything else, and you contemplate so many things about your own life after it. I just love her films. She's got another film coming up with Robert Pattinson in a few next. Well, it might be 2022 by now because Batman's delayed, so he's stuck in Warner Brother land. But yeah, definitely I would like watch Beau Travail and then go from there with Claire Denis or High Life. But honestly, she's one of the best directors like working today, and she's worked with like so many directors like Wim Wenders. She's worked with Agnes Varda. So many. She's worked with some of the best, and she's learned from the best, and that's why she is one of the best. So definitely. Well, so we've got White Material is one of the best movies about post-colonialism I've ever seen. You took the words right out of my mouth, Roman. Definitely. Daigoro says Blowout is a great film. Blowout is fantastic. Have you seen Blowout from De Palma?
Yeah.
Oh. No, I've not seen it.
Yeah.
I know it's so easy to get hold of. Yeah, I need to check it out.
It's definitely John Travolta's best film. So Andre, best Claire Denis, fantastic. Also, I forgot to mention my list. I've actually decided not to go for more than one director in one country. So we've had Netherlands, Denmark, France, and then I've got UK and USA. But I've got like honorable mentions also. So my favorite UK director is Mike Leigh. Have you guys ever seen Naked?
Yeah,
Life
David
Sweet
Thewlis.
with David Thewlis. Mike Leigh is one of the best directors that describes Britain at any point in time. I think he shows how governments have changed us and how like integration has changed the world in Britain. And he just shows it in such a positive yet negative way. Like Life is Sweet is one of these films that shows Thatcherism in a way that you wouldn't expect, but at the same time it's very interesting. He creates really fantastic characters, like Happy Go Lucky with Sally Hawkins is such an uplifting but saddening film at the same time. Even like his last film, Peterloo, he made a historical piece. I don't appreciate it as a film, but I do really like it as a piece of cinema. Even Mr. Turner, I hate art from that kind of period, but I love the way that he shot it and created it. Mike Leigh is seriously like such an under-talked director, in my opinion. Like even with Vera, he talks about abortion in such a calm level way without forcing opinions on anybody. But yeah. Honestly, what we got? Is there such a good thing as a good Travolta film? Well, yeah, Pulp Fiction and Blowout. Saturday Night Fever is a good film too with Johnny T. I haven't seen The Fanatic. Have you seen The Fanatic yet?
No, I can't.
No, I heard a lot about it.
Apparently the opening line is I can't talk, I gotta poo.
Yeah.
Once I heard that was the opening line, I was like, I really need to see this film, but I haven't purchased it yet. Nazari Prod says, I saw Naked in the cinema. It's so good. I wish I could see it in the cinema. Roman says, what Mike Leigh film should I watch? Saw Another Life, but I wasn't a fan. Start with Naked and Life is Sweet and then go from there. That's the best way. Sif Kitten says, Vera is great. Kuchenberg says, Chains of Gold. Okay. So my number one is David Lynch. Nobody has impacted my cinematic experience more than David Lynch. Like Blue Velvet is one of my favorite films, is my favorite film of all time. Twin Peaks 1, 2, 3, I think some of the best pieces of television I've seen. Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway. What else? We've got Straight Story, we've got Dune even, you've got Eraserhead. I feel like he has brought his visions of the world and his art onto a screen, and I just cannot get enough of David Lynch. Like even like, you know, the short film What Jack Did, I watched it like 5 or 6 times because I just love watching him talking to a monkey. He's just an icon for me, and I feel like cinema has been enriched by him. and I think his impact on cinema, it'll just be as big as what Scorsese or what Kubrick or Hitchcock, Wilder, Kurosawa, Ozu, anybody has. I think that Lynch is for me the ultimate master. Like for me, Blue Velvet is like, I could watch that film over and over again on loop because I just find it so interesting, and the way that he just shows the darker side of the world, but in such a cool and jazzy way, is just so different to any other director. Obviously Elephant Man as well, we've got that.
Yeah.
The new 4K is out, so I still haven't actually cracked that open yet. What we got? Roman says Twin Peaks: The Return is the best TV series of the 21st century. Nothing comes close. Definitely agree. I can tell you how much money I have spent on Twin Peaks trading cards and autos. Oh my god, I don't want to know. Jodorowsky, I have only seen El Topo, Holy Mountain, and Santa Sagre from Jodorowsky, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. What else we got? Twin Peaks film was terrifying in cinema. I would have loved to see Fire Walk with Me in the cinema. It's such a weird film. I find it interesting, like how many people love that film now and how badly panned it was when it came out in '92. Dion, you should look up Blue Velvet's psychoanalysis breakdown by Zizek. Okay, I will definitely check that out.
Yeah.
But Twin Peaks from Z to AZ box set, even though I own both previous box sets. Oh my god, I'm happy with the sets I've got, but I don't think I would go that far. I'll just go through my honorable mentions also before we crack on. Paul Thomas Anderson, as we've talked about, Lynn Ramsey, Jonathan Glazer,
Glazer.
Olivier Azias, Leos Carax, Jean-Luc Godard. I've got Michael Haneke. I've got who else have I got? Wes Anderson was another one. Martin Scorsese, Cronenberg. Yeah, my list was quite big. Who else did I have? Jim Jarmusch. Jim Jarmusch should have been on my list, but I regret that now. And
I love
obviously,
Jim Jarmusch, yeah.
And Harmony Korine is obviously another one, and Sofia Coppola.
Can I say something about Lynn Ramsey?
Yeah, go on.
I think you know how we every time there's the Oscars and you got the BAFTAs, they said why is there no female directors nominated? And then I really don't want when Lynn Ramsey, because I think she's one of the best directors working today.
Yeah.
I don't want when she wins the Oscar or BAFTA, if she ever does, for anyone to say it's because she's, they only nominate because she's better than so many directors out there that is getting so much hype. Yeah. I think she's phenomenal.
Well, for a person that she's only made 4 films. All 4 films are fantastic.
Yeah,
you can. Ratcatcher, Morven Carla are like 2 fantastic films. Like for your directorial debut to be Ratcatcher is crazy. But what I can tell you about you were never really here was that the studio and the distributors didn't actually want to pursue an awards push on it. Because it didn't do so well in the box office for them, so they didn't bother, even though that they assumed that they were going to go for it for her best director, best picture, and for Joaquin, but it didn't pan out that way. So that's as far as I'll go within the context of a live stream. I can tell you the rest another time. Endless Poetry is good by Jodorowsky. I actually have that on Blu-ray, but I still haven't seen it. Birth is a very underrated Jonathan Glazer film. If nobody has seen Birth, please go watch it. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes, but it will change your perspective on them. Like Under the Skin is like fantastic.
Yeah,
is one of the best 21st century films. And Sexy Beast, his first film. I love Sexy Beast. It's so good. I actually met his costume designer at a conference once, and I literally sat with this guy for about an hour and a half talking about Sexy Beast. And the stories he told me about Glazer and how he made that film is just crazy. He was just like drunk most days making it, and he was just like, I'll leave it at that. But
we used to email, so I was working with him.
Yeah.
On a Canon campaign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he did.
Lads, doesn't he?
This one with like gladiator.
Yeah.
Rugby, football. So he was like signing off on my work.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's making a Holocaust film at the moment, so that's slated for next year. But I imagine it'll be 2022 now. What else have we got? No love for Malick or Nolan. I do like Terrence Malick quite a bit, but I feel like I haven't seen all of Malick's work to actually comment on it. But I would say the early part of the 2010s was not a very good time for Malick because most of those films are pants. But Hidden Life is fantastic. And obviously Tree of Life is one of the best films I think that's ever been made. Love Matteo Garrone. I've only ever seen, is it Dogman? I've not seen any others. I also like Paulo Sorrentino. Like, I really like his movies. Like, I even like The New Pope and The Young Pope, the TV series. Very good, like Italian filmmaker, like modern. Some of the Under the Skin was shot in my friend's workplace. Okay. Do they actually get to meet Scarlett Johansson and get a selfie with him? That's why I want to know. How do you guys deal with bad criticism of a movie you love, both as a YouTuber and private person, as an above average movie interested?
Yeah.
I think you accept it, don't you? I think.
Yeah, I don't mind. You know,
I don't care.
Yeah, other YouTubers have really torn into movies I loved.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me.
I'm actually quite interested in their opinion and why they don't like it.
Yeah, sometimes movies are just subjective.
As long as it's not just like, oh, I hate that, that's crap. If it's, I don't like that because I don't believe the character or where it goes or this facet of it. It's great to get in a discussion about that, you know, and sometimes you can, debate your point, but personally, it doesn't take my enjoyment of the movie away.
No, of course.
Yeah, it's always the same. It's just like, I think you can weigh your opinion on it, but if somebody won't change their mind, that's fine. Like, I've had a few people commenting on like my best films of the 2010s, and people keep like, the one thing I keep hearing is, I'm surprised that Spring Breakers and Holy Motors are like two of your favorite films, and I'm just like, well, yeah, because that's my personal choice. Like, that these are the films I like. But when I hear people are willing to give it another go, to like think of a different perspective of it, I appreciate that. But that's the thing, like that's the joy of criticism. You know, Siskel and Ebert are like kings of it. They always had arguments about films that they loved and hated, but at the end of the day, as long as the art form is being discussed, does it really matter? So, if you've seen The Skin, you see where the Stranger Things go upside down. Okay. Right. Okay. So we've done Western, which was a very broad selection of people. Definitely agree with that. But okay, Eastern. Hus, you're the aficionado, so you fire away.
Okay. My first one on my list is Jia Zhangke. I mean, especially in the last decade and a bit. I mean, his last 6 movies are all I would consider like masterpieces. I think even to his latest one,
your favorite film, isn't it?
Of the last decade, I thought it was amazing. Zhang Woo. I mean, he works with some of the best cast. His cinematography, everything. The topics of his films, they're just so interesting. They're just. I mean, do you know this? What a touch of film, a touch of sin is about? It's basically pieces from social media which he just made into a film, and it's
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, even to The World. I don't know if anyone's seen that. It's got a Masters of Cinema release. That's just
it's on that shelf somewhere, Graham.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, he's just. I mean, Ash's Purest White. His latest film is brilliant. I don't think I've seen a film of his that I've not thought was just amazing. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think of him.
I think for me, like, Ash's Purest White is a very good film. I've not seen Touch of Sin yet. Is it in the Mount? Is it the Mountain Madness? Is it?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Mountains. Mate. Mountains Made Apart.
Mountains Made Apart. Mountains Mad is another thing. That's like a Del Toro project. Anyway, yeah, those are the only two Janke films I've seen, but I really like his style, most definitely. And I really just enjoy his like positions on China and how he just observes how it's changing. Like Ashes Purest White is like definitely one of those like catalyst films. I thought, okay, you can see like an evolution of like a culture, and I thought it was really cool for that way. But I actually have the Janke box set, but I still haven't properly dug into it.
Check it out.
I will. I've got another 3 weeks, my friend. I've got plenty of time to watch movies. So
even great performance with Sylvia Chang in that. It's just amazing.
Okay, and who's next on your list?
Okay, next on my list is I know it's going to be a bit of a cliche, but it's Kurita. I mean, the hardest genre, you could call it a genre of humanism. I think it's the hardest genre to capture like brilliantly. Well, even just well, and he's just a master of it. He's
Definitely
the master of humanism, and I don't think. I mean, another one. His films just touch you in so many ways because, like, everything you can sort of like pick out in his movies, things that really like are in your life is in your life as well. Like, and still walking that feeling of loss, you know, of someone that you once cared about, and you know, Our Little Sister. Just how delightful that film is and charming. Oh, wonderful.
Definitely. No, I definitely agree with Kurita. Like, I obviously for a lot of people the entry point were Shoplifters, and I think once you go into Shoplifters and then you just go into the rest of it, like Barbarossa, Still Walking, very good films. Like Our Little Sister is one of my personal favorites. The only one I didn't like that much was Third Murder. Is it Third Murder?
Third Murder is very different from the rest of
it's like I thought it was decent, but and then obviously I've seen his English film, The Truth. Well, English-French film, The Truth, as well.
Not seen it yet.
Because the thing about Kurita, which I find interesting, is like he's really good at like using like French New Wave style of like dialogue heavy, and just there is just a natural way for him to like transcend like human emotions just through framing. It's really good, and just the way that he flows the camera is fantastic. Kurita is the perfect successor to Ozu, definitely incredibly human and profound. A lot of people say this, don't they? But some people will actually complain that he's stolen a lot from Ozu, but I don't think he has.
No. Have you seen the interviews where he's compared to Ozu? He goes,
"No, I've never." Like,
he just goes, "I don't see it." He's like,
"Yeah,
I don't see it."
But the thing is, Japanese cinema has that kind of aesthetic to it. And it's something that you connect with Japanese cinema. Not all Japanese cinema is the same, but there is that subtle humanistic kind of tone in a lot of these films. You know, I like Oshima. I watched Boy the other day, and that felt like an Ozu Koreeda film. Also, like there is just so much going on. But I think it's the same as like Korean cinema. That there is like this nicheness that they work on, but they expand it. It's always the same, isn't it? What's your favorite Kurita film, Graham?
This is where I get really out of my depth. I don't think I've seen any at all. I've got the Family Values box set and the Third Murder sitting there, but I've not watched.
Have you seen Shoplifters yet?
Nope.
Watch it.
No.
Yeah, watch it.
Like it's a really good like point, like entrance. Like I said, it's a good entrance point into Kurita's films. But that Family Values box set is worth so much money now. You could sell that. But
I'm going to watch it instead. Get the use out of it.
Do it. Next up was
Wong Kar-Wai.
Yeah.
Wong Kar-Wai.
That's on my list as well.
If only he made more films.
I know.
If only he made more films. I mean,
except for Blueberry Nights, though.
Except for Blueberry Nights, yeah. I mean, one thing everyone sees about Wong Kar-Wai is the aesthetic of his films. They are just beautiful. I mean, In the Mood for Love, everything from the pacing.
Perfect.
It's just perfect. It is. Yeah. I watch that every Valentine's Day with my wife.
Yeah, that is sweet. I like that.
That's like the perfect Valentine's Day movie.
Mm.
It's just Christopher Doyle. I mean,
One of the best cinematographers.
One of the best cinematographers ever, and their collaborations are brilliant. I mean, he wasn't involved in The Grandmaster, but
no, he should have.
He should have. It was still beautiful. It was still beautiful, nonetheless. Yeah. I mean, I think we spoke about this in the last discussion. I mean, in the time it took him to make The Grandmaster, there was 2 Ip Man films. Like, even from the moment he started, like, writing it, developing it, it's just
wasn't
he works in such a slow pace.
Wasn't it in development from like 2006 or 7? Because like he was working on it, but then he decided to make My Blueberry Nights instead. Yeah,
I went to see it at the cinema and took my daughter in there. She was only newborn.
What, Grandmaster?
Yeah. They did like this baby cinema.
Yeah.
And you can
of the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. In Hackney there's a cinema where they do you could go take a baby in with you. The lights are slightly like less dimmed and the volume's a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But yeah. I took my daughter there. She was only like a few weeks old.
That's amazing.
I know.
That is actually amazing. I love it.
My wife took her to see Ex Machina.
Legend.
Yeah.
You got a cool family, man. Oh man, yeah, definitely. Just Wong Kar-Wai. It's just like romance saying Happy Together. I only recently watched Happy Together, and it's like one of the most perfect endings to a film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just the combination of the music and just the way that he like shoots it is beautiful.
And Chungking Express. Chungking Express.
Yeah. Like Chungking Express is like one of the most accessible Asian films ever to have been made, I think. Yeah. Definitely.
And that's going to get a whole new set from
Criterion.
Okay. Oh,
it's happening, even though they still not announced it. But I would say I'm about 80% certain on it, on the sources that I have.
Yeah.
80%. That's all I'll say for now. Yeah, definitely. No, Wong Kar-Wai, legend, absolute legend. Like, I cannot wait to see Blossoms whenever he makes it. Because obviously, like we said last time, he's not even filmed it or anything. Yeah, because of what's happened in the riots and then obviously this pandemic. So
the actors that he's worked with, like Tony Leung, Maggie Cheung, Bridget Lin, just some of the greatest actors in Hong Kong.
Imagine if he hasn't worked with Jackie Chan, does he?
No.
Imagine. No. That would be amazing.
And do you know he could make a film in English? I mean, with those actors, because
definitely
those actors.
Well, Tony Leung speaks English. Maggie Cheung speaks English.
Yeah.
Bridget
Lin, because they all went to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Yeah, most people speak. Well, not most people.
But back
when I was in Hong Kong, they speak some form of like decent English, but like if you try and have a longer conversation, just like no.
Yeah.
But it's still good. Yeah. Anyway, love your Grandmaster, best fight scene in the rain ever. Definitely. How would you rank the Lone Wolf and Cub series as a whole? Never seen much of them, but seen how Road to Perdition and The Mandalorian are love letters to it. Even Rick and Morty. This is your question.
Oh, Lone Wolf and Cub. Just watch them as they go. I think.
Yeah, I
rate them all the same. I think they're. Yeah. I mean, they were so good that they cut from all of them to make what was it? The
Shogun Assassin.
What was the American film?
Yeah, Shogun Assassin, was it?
Shogun Assassin. Yeah. There you go. Okay, next on your list.
Takeshi Kitano.
Okay.
I don't know if you're many of his
Katana's films on my list, but go for it. I'm here to learn. This is why I'm here.
I mean, there's Hanabi. I mean, there's a third window release of it. It's one of those movies that should be on everyone's shelf. It's brilliant. Another one is Sonantine. That's getting a BFI release.
Is it?
Yeah.
Soon. Oh, yeah. It's, May, I think, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other Kitano films that View from the Sea is pretty much a silent movie.
Yeah.
Just amazing. He did violent films that were just like, they would build up to just a second of violence, almost like a western. You'd see like just this build up, and it would just be like a second, and you might not even see the violence.
Yeah.
But he was known as this director of violent movies, but he's just. I mean, his most violent films were like the Outrage trilogy. I don't know if anyone's seen.
We've actually got Romance just put Outrage, and then we've got Kukabek saying Outrage trilogy needs a UK Blu-ray release ASAP.
Kikujiro. Oh, that's brilliant.
Zatoichi.
His Zatoichi is amazing. I mean, some people say it's not aged well with the CGI blood, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't bother me.
That's the big Criterion set, right?
But it's not part of that set because he directed it and starred in it. He stars.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hannah B.
Okay. Right. Who else have you got next?
Next up, let me see on my list. I've got. Now this is one that I kept taking off and on, but I love his movie so much, and it's Lau Kar-Leung. The director who's done some of the greatest martial arts movies of all time. I mean, I had to pull up a list of the films that he's made, and I mean, 36th Chamber of Shaolin, to me, is the greatest martial arts film.
I remember you saying that last week.
8 Diagram, Pole Fighter. You've got Dirty Ho. Don't know if anyone's seen Dirty Ho. It's about a guy called Ho. It's phenomenal. He's the king of martial arts movies. The Golden Swallow, The Return of the One-Armed Swordsman. I don't know.
Endless list
of some of the greatest martial arts movies, and that's how I really entered into Asian cinema, through martial arts movies. His movies are slowly getting released in the UK by 88 Films, and they're just classic Shaw Brothers titles. Yeah, an Innovator.
Yeah. Okay, and who's the last on your list?
I think wasn't that my list.
Was that 5? Oh, I thought you had 4.
Zhai Corrido, Wong Kar-Wai, Kitano, and Lau.
No, that's 5.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to put Ho Xiao Shen on there.
Yeah.
I'm
very surprised by that list for you. I don't know why.
Miike, I wanted to put on that list.
I was expecting Takashi-san to turn up, but I was surprised by that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Miike, I could have.
That's a good list.
You know, any other day, this list could probably change tomorrow.
Yeah, if we did this again in like a couple of weeks' time, I bet you
it'd be so different.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be so different.
Definitely. Okay then. And Graham, you're next.
Yeah, just listening to Huss, it just makes me a bit ashamed because I've got a lot of these movies he's talking about on my shelves, unwatched.
You've got so much time to watch them now, mate.
I've got like the Koreeda, I've got Hanabai, Kujiro, the whole Sansui set from Eureka. I've got all these in. My list is wholly populist because looking at all the Asian directors and that, there wasn't many that I'd seen multiple movies from. So it's a lot of things that I delved into when I was younger, got me into kind of Asian movies. So you can see a lot of familiar names here because I'm a little bit out of my depth. But the sort of main guy that got me into Asian movies was Jackie Chan, and like his Police Story 1 and 2, Project Day 1 and 2, and Armor of God, particularly series Operation Condor, was wonderful. It was more of the kind of ridiculous action, especially the end scenes where you see him putting himself through the ringer, doing these kind of stuff. Is just gobsmacking. You know, the clock stunt in Project A, running down the building. It's just stunning, like physical feast to watch. They're a bit like the silent movie stars, where they're doing all this physicality, where you're just kind of gobsmacked that the human body can go through that much.
It's crazy.
So that was one of them. My next was Takashi Miike.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, he's
Yeah,
on the
he
list.
would have been in my list. He would have been
Yeah.
on my list.
And it's strange because looking at his movies, I haven't seen probably the most famous one of his, Audition. I haven't seen that, but
So good.
yeah, I
It's
know,
so
I know
good.
it's great, and I've managed to stay away from
Yeah.
spoilers, which is unbelievable. But I've
Perfect
always,
date movie.
Yeah.
Perfect date
Yes.
movie.
but looking at some of my favourites there, Itch the Killer, 13 Assassins, Happiness of the Katakuris,
Oh, yeah.
which is bonkers. Visitor Q, the Dead or Alive trilogy, One Missed Call. That's one of those directors that whenever I stumble across a movie, I'm watching it and I have no idea what the hell I'm going to get from checking this guy out. Visitor Q is one of the more, absolute bonkers movies of his that I've seen. Like I said, Audition is one I will get to at some point, but Takashi Miike, love the guy.
There's a few of his films on Netflix. The other one I watched the other day was the Sukiyaki Western Django. I mean, it's pretty much a remake of Yojimbo to some extent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not great, but it's a Miike film. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those directors that is hit and miss. But even his bad films, you appreciate them because you know what he's trying to do. And I've got so much love for him that I don't care. I mean, even for Terraformers, I don't care that it. Yeah, but it got so much stick, and JoJo's Bizarre, whatever it is. I mean, I still like that. I thought it was just bonkers. I mean,
I preferred the anime to that one, but the movie was fun. It was a bit mental at the end with all the miniature army guys and things like that. But I recently watched First Love, which is a new
Oh
one.
yeah, so good.
Return to form
fun movie.
Yes, that part where the guy is putting the girl in the apartment and the mother comes out. Like, I think I replayed that a good 15 times just when this is.
I was laughing my head off in that part. Even though you shouldn't really laugh, but it's so funny.
Yeah, it just elicits a giggle.
And that guy doing the Yakuza voice, because the Yakuza. Yeah. I don't know if you watch Takeshi Kitano films, especially the Outrage trilogy, they all speak like that. And I've spoken to Japanese people that can't understand it because it's a way they speak, which is like it's almost like they're grunting. And then all of a sudden that guy starts talking like a Yakuza, and you just see everyone like thinking, "What?" He's just brilliant. I think it's just a return to form for Miike, and I hope he carries on for a little while. But yeah, amazing.
Next up, I've got Park Chan-wook. They've seen the Vengeance trilogy, The Handmaiden, and Stoker in particular. Everybody's goes on about the Vengeance trilogy, and I thought The Handmaiden was one of the most beautifully constructed movies.
Handmaiden is definitely one of the best films from Korea, like in the last 10 years, I think.
Yeah. But, and I loved the narrative of it, the way it unfolds throughout the movie. You get 30 minutes, and then it repurposes it all and changes it and explains it more. It's great. I really love Stoker as well.
It's such an underrated film, isn't it?
Yeah.
I definitely think it's really underrated.
And I think the performance from Matthew Good in that is just
and Maya Wachowski, Nicole Kidman. But I heard Park Chan-wook just didn't really like the atmosphere of creating the film or something. He said,
right,
because he found it very difficult with the translations. Because obviously he didn't speak English.
So, he didn't speak English at all.
Yeah, so he was just passing it out. But the way that the film's just all shaped up together, and then obviously he went on to make, was it the Tin Drum Girl?
Little Drummer Girl.
Little Drummer Girl, yeah, with
that's going to get a plain archive,
right?
That's going to get a plain archive release.
Ooh, very nice.
He did that with the BBC. Yeah,
I will be purchasing that one.
My favourite Park Chan-wook movie is JSA. I think it's one of the most touching films ever. It's never had a UK release, but if it ever does, you guys really need to check it. It's unlike any of his other films. All-star cast, but it's just, what would have happened? What would happen if, South Korean soldiers and North Korean soldiers actually got on, and it didn't listen. It had nothing to do with politics, and they just met by accident and just built a friendship. Cool. It's so touching. It's brilliant.
I've got a couple in the comments now. We've got saw Terraformers at Fantasia. Not great, but it was awesome to see it with Miike in the audience.
Wow.
You missed out with that one. What is Miike Zatoichi like?
Kitano's Zatoichi.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
It's good. It's good. It's violent, very violent.
Stiff Kitten says, watched Stoker a few days ago. Welcome to the club. I hope you like it. Please let me know. I'm a cyborg, but that's okay. It's underappreciated as it's joint security area nowadays, just like you just said. GSA is bittersweet and the most Korean films. GSA got a Tartan UK DVD released back in the day. Good old Tartan. I miss those guys. They used to
I've still got my Tartan Old Boy.
Have you?
Somewhere, yeah.
I always see that at CEX, like that Tartan Old Boy.
Did they get taken over by Curzon? Or
yeah, they did, yeah. Because like I've got like a couple of like Von Trier's earlier films, like The Idiots and stuff on Tartan. Like yeah, Tartan used to release so many good things before. But anyway, Graham, who else have we got?
Last is John Woo.
John.
Now,
he could have made my list.
Just because of like Hard Boiled, The Killer, Bullet to the Head, A Better Tomorrow 1 and 2, like those movies were amazing. Just Hard Boiled. It was one of those movies that I discovered Tartan DVD again, and I'm like, what the hell is
Tartan DVD? Oh,
even the babies helping them putting the fire out. This movie's amazing. And as if that wasn't enough, like he did those, and then he moved over to America and had like a sort of renaissance and did movies. I mean, he actually made a good Van Damme movie, Hard Target, which is one of those like, guilty pleasure type of things I love. Like Broken Arrow, Face Off.
There's this thing of, I mean, I talk about this a few times on my channel. The Jean-Claude Van Damme curse, where all these great directors that worked with Van Damme, like these Hong Kong directors, and then all of a sudden, like you've got Lam,
as well, didn't he?
you got Choi Hark, and it just took a while for Lam to make another film, great film. But you're talking about Hard Boiled. I mean, Hard Boiled, that shootout at the beginning in the tea house. I said this in the last video. I'm going to say this in every video. The greatest action scene of all time. I mean, you've got Chow Yun-fat, and people don't even realize it's Jun Kunimura is the other guy in the shootout. Who I don't know if anyone, the Wailing. Anyone seen the Wailing?
Yeah.
You know the Japanese guy in that, the demon.
Yeah.
That's him. Like he was in Kill Bill and. But yeah, them two shooting out. You've got canaries, you've got loads of bullets, you've got cocaine. It's just amazing. I think after this stream, I think everyone should just check it out on YouTube, and you know it is unbelievable. The best shootout in the history of cinema. Unbelievable, yeah.
Nice.
And that's me, guys.
Okay.
Good list.
Good. Yeah. That was a good list. Like ended it with John Woo as well. Nice. Okay. So mine, I started with Hayao Miyazaki just purely because obviously Ghibli is the most formidable like animation studio in the world. Disney can sling their hooks, to be honest. But just everything that Miyazaki's ever created has just created such wonder, imagination in my head, and it's just, I think it's increased my love for like Japan. Obviously, I was meant to go to Japan next year, but because the Olympics are going on next year, now I have to go the year after because it's too expensive to get there. But like, it really opened up my eyes to just beautiful animation, and I just love the messages within the films as well. It's just, you know, it can be about environmentalism. It just could be about the love of your family. It could be about your heritage. It can be about anything. And it's just such open cinema, and anybody can watch them. But I will say that I really do hate the dubbed versions of them. I always watch them with subs because I just can't deal with like American voices over that beautiful animation. But yeah.
I've not watched a subbed version of his films since for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
My daughter's been getting into them, and she just, because she can't, obviously she's 5 years old. But yeah, I
No,
can't wait to go
no.
back to watching them with
Mm.
subs.
Because when I was in Hong Kong, I did buy like quite a few of the Blu-rays when I was at the Ghibli shop there. Like, I think purely I wanted to have like the Asian editions of them anyway. But but the best thing about it is they don't have any dubbings, so I can never be tempted to go for the dub, even though they're on Netflix now. But I'll still treasure like Wind Rises makes me cry every time. Yes, Roman, I'm exactly the same. It's such a
those Japanese editions are beautiful as well.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Yeah, they weren't cheap either. But I made
Japanese
sure,
Blu-rays aren't.
Yeah, I made sure that I had like a good reserve of money to go with me when I went. But what's your favorite Ghibli film?
I've not seen any at all. Yeah, I know. It's one of these pressures. And look, if Luke from Razorwire Reviews is here, he'll be killing himself laughing.
Luke was on the chat last week. We were talking about it. Like Porco Rosso and My Neighbor the Yamadas, the two like my favorite ones. But
we sat down and he created like a long list of like a viewing order for me to watch, and I just
he made the viewing order. Ooh, I like it.
I think it was starting because I bought the first two movies. I've not got to watch them. It was starting with Nausicaa and then into Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah, Kiki's Delivery. Yeah, fantastic.
Like, I've seen bits and pieces of them. I know all of them as well, and my kids have been watching them thanks to Netflix. Ponyo and Castle in the Sky.
What's your daughter's favorite one in hers?
She loves Totoro. She also loves Castle in the Sky. Avatar. She really loves Ponyo at the moment. But I think one of her favourites that she loves watching while she's eating her dinner isn't a Ghibli film, but it's a Miyazaki film, and it's a Lupin the Third. Castle Cagliostro. Yeah.
I think the one I was most interested in was when Marnie was there. It just looked really like my kind of thing.
Yeah.
Lupin the Third. Apparently, that inspired Indiana Jones.
Did it?
Yeah. That's what Spielberg's.
Well, George Lucas and Spielberg owe a lot to Japanese cinema anyway. Let's be honest. Kurosawa in general.
I just read one of the comments. Someone put apologise to my rice. I think that's John Woo thing from A Better Tomorrow. Apologise to my rice.
I went to see The Wind Rises at a small theatre expecting the dub, and they played the original sub version, and it was magnificent. That is just pure cinema. That's what we like to hear. Andrew says Totoro and Porco Rosso are my favourite. Ice Cube says love Lupin in general, so Castle is up there. Tales of Princess Kaguya, not so much of a fan, but still very good. Next I've got, and this is a new one, like a really recent one for me, but I've been watching a lot of Nagisa Oshima films. Boy in particular is probably one of my favorite like films of all time now. I thought it was utterly heartbreaking, but at the same time it was just one of these films that I just could not stop thinking about. The way that he shoots in snow is beautifully poetic, and I really couldn't get my eyes around. Like, in the realm of senses, I find it to be a very strange film, but I do really like that as well. Death by Hanging is another one that I think is a very good film by him, and obviously Cruel Story of Youth was like the first one I watched from his, but I just really dig his style of cinema. But like Roman said, that Koreeda has a lot of influences from Oshima. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. That's
my favorite. That's my favorite Oshima film. That's getting an Academy release.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen it, but I'm waiting for that Blu-ray to come out now because I just want to see that new restoration of it. So I'm holding out on it, but I've seen bits of it, but I know I'm going to like it quite a bit. But like Oshima has like been something that I've really got into in the last like week. But I really like his style as a director. Definitely one of the better, one of my favorite Japanese directors now. I've got a couple of South Korean directors now. We've got Hong Sang-soo. Like, I can't get over Hong Sang-soo because he is really slow, reflective, improvisational. It's just everything I really enjoy about film. Like Claire's camera. You've got Right Now Wrong Then. Yeah, Right Now Wrong Then.
Wrong Then. Yeah.
Right Now, Wrong Then. Obviously, Hotel by the River, Grass. All of his films just make me think a lot more about myself as a human being most of the time. But also it like opens my eyes more about how Korean culture is and just how universal like his films really are. You just can't really get enough of Hong Sang-soo, and I really can't wait to see his new film whenever we ever get to see that.
Yeah.
But Sang-soo is just like, I know you like Hong Sang-soo quite a bit as well, but I really do think he's one of the best like South Korean directors there. So
yeah, his films are only just starting to get like Blu-ray releases in the UK.
Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? Like I bought most of mine from America purely for the reason I just want to own them. But just really intricate films. I don't know if anybody else really likes Hong Sang-soo here, but I really, really, really want the Blu-ray of Realm of Senses out of print, but don't want to get my pants pulled down on the price. Yeah, I know the price on that. But there's the BFI is meant to be releasing a version of it, from I've been told.
How will that get released?
I don't know.
Will that actually get released in the UK?
Well,
it'll be cut to death.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's like because I've been told like there's a film from Leos Carax called Polar X, which is really in the same kind of taste as In the Realm of Senses. And UK Blue on Studio Canal has gone out of print too. Oh, there you go. So it has had a UK release.
I don't think you've seen it, Graham. It's basically about this toxic relationship between a man and a woman, and the sex scenes in this are not.
It's like a porno.
It's basically a porno because they are actually having. They are actually having sex. Yeah.
Yeah, actual. Yeah, but there's a lot more to it than that. But do you know that is the most screened film at Cannes Film Festival? So the year it came out at Cannes, it was only meant to have 5 showings in the festival, but ended up being like 10 or 12 because that many people wanted to see it because they couldn't believe that there was an erect penis and insertion moments within it. So that's how like Oshima like became more well known in the West.
Yeah, it's a true story as well.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, and then obviously this one I think is a staple for me, but Bong Joon-ho, like, and I just want to clarify this now, but Bong Joon-ho is a director that I have loved for like over 10 years now. This is not like the Bong Hive situation. I've like really invested a lot of my time with his work, but obviously I'm sure we've had a mass conversation about him last week, but Memories of Murder is one of my all-time favorite films, and I cannot get over the sheer power of him, the way that he splices genres, but at the same time keeps it on such a very quaint level, and there's such an intensity in his narratives, but you're always learning from him, and just his style in general is so unique, and I think he stands out so much from other South Korean directors. I just adore his work in general. Like Mother is phenomenal.
That was one of those. I was in CEX one day, and I picked up the Blu-ray for £3.
Now it's worth a lot more.
I thought, is it? Yeah.
They're all most of the Bong Joon-ho. I think The Host is the only one that's not worth anything.
But
I think The Host is
over
good.
here. Yeah, The Host is great, but I particularly love Snowpiercer.
Oh,
I think it's just a masterpiece. But I think everything's kind of overshadowed now because of Parasite.
Yeah, I think that's the weird thing about it. It's just like I've been singing to the rafters about Bong Joon-ho for years, the same as Host. Like, but it just seems like he's just like one of those easy answers, but he's not.
It's like a double-edged sword. It's the most populist answer's Parasite, but it's going to lead people back into these awesome movies. So. No, honestly, I think what we got here now, UK Studio Canal of Realm of Senses is fully uncut now. It says BBFC passed it in, it's fully uncut. So there we go. We've got that. B-Gan's a 2 out of 2 for me. I was going to put B-Gan in my list, but 2 films isn't enough.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if he had another 2 more films, I'll probably put them in my list.
Yeah.
If they were at the same level.
Yeah.
I mean, B-Gan is the next big thing to come from Asian cinema.
Yeah, definitely.
He's gonna be up there with when we say Bong Joon-ho and Ho Xiaoshen.
Mm.
He's going to be a master.
Yeah. Chris is asking, is it controversial to say that Parasite is a bit overrated compared to all the hype? I mean, I think it's. I think 5 of his other movies are better. Yeah, I would say it's acceptable to say it's slightly overrated in a way, definitely.
Some people have criticised the ending of Parasite.
Yeah, but for me, like, I saw this in June before everything kicked off, and I was just like, this film's going to be massive, and nobody really thought it was going to get any further than the Palme d'Or. But it's crazy how this film has kind of like opened up Asian cinema to the world, and I do really hope like more people will get into it because of that. I think that is the best thing about it. You can't really bash the film for anything. It's doing more good than anything else. But I can see why some people are saying it's a bit overrated, but especially when you talk about his other films, like Memories of Murder, like I said, is a perfect example of a better film from Bong Joon-ho. And I don't know if anybody else would agree.
Just wonderful.
No, I agree totally. Yeah.
And then I assume we'll see what everybody says in the chat about that, but I'll open that up as well. The last one on my list is Wong Kar-Wai, but we've discussed Wong Kar-Wai enough. I did have a couple of honorable mentions, and they were not actually part of like Japan, China, or anything like that, but more Iranian. Abbas Kiarostami, Jafar Banai, and Asghar Farhadi. Like, they are very good directors. I've only started getting into their films like the last couple of years, but I just kind of wanted to open it a bit more that, you know, it's not just about the predominant parts of Asia, but Iranian cinema is just as interesting. Like Panay, like he had made a film called Taxi, and literally it was him driving a taxi around Tehran, where he's meant to be. Roman says, "Yay for Iranians!" But Panay like drives a taxi around, and he's not meant to be filming stuff. He's like, he's basically a political prisoner there. But really interesting. Like Iranian cinemas, like I'd be happy to talk about Iranian cinema another time. But yeah, Taxi by Panay is a masterpiece. I actually went to see it with my friend and his auntie cried when we watched it. But yeah, really good. Like About Ellie is another good like Iranian film. A Separation. There's so many good Iranian films. If people haven't seen them, like I would definitely like.
Did they get much of a release in Iran?
Yeah, like no, worldwide they do,
but not in Iran itself.
Yeah, but it's definitely like Curzon are really good at championing it. And who else have we got? Who's released Long Day's Journey into Night here again? New Wave. New Wave are quite good for releasing Iranian films, but like I would really suggest maybe venturing into Iranian cinema. My friend Kieran is a champion of Iranian cinema. I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but honestly, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know half of the films. But it's a country that has created really good films. The Girl Who Walked Home Alone.
It's an Iranian film.
Days. Yeah, it's Iranian but filmed in America. But it's such a good vampire movie. Yeah, Andrea, I've seen Three Faces. I wasn't so keen on it, but I do like it, but not as much. Dion, you like Con? I haven't seen Con though. Sorry. I'm gonna revisit Three Faces, Andre. It's one of them I really would like to revisit at another time. But yeah, Iranian cinema, go for it. I would highly recommend it. So that's everybody's lists. Somebody said no Kurosawa. Okay. I didn't put Kurosawa on it because I put Kurosawa on the same kind of pantheon as Kubrick.
Yeah, and same as Sergio Leone.
That's my.
I mean, it goes without saying he is someone who changed cinema. And he's someone who's ventured into so many genres as well. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But I think that's the problem with. I think that's why I left Kurosawa out. And I'm surprised nobody said Ozu either. So yeah,
that's.
I think
I'm woefully ignorant in most of these, to be fair. So
Kurosawa, I really recommend getting into some of his film.
Yeah, I've not seen enough.
Throne of Blood.
Yeah.
High and Low.
High and Low is the one I think I'm most interested.
High and Low is like I would say definitely worth like good entry point into it. So
awesome. Yeah. Or Yojimbo.
Oh yeah. Rashomon.
Of course, Stevenson.
Yeah.
Edward Yang. Someone just
Nobody
said nobody said Edward Yang.
Yeah, because I still
You
haven't-
know something. It's hot with
Yeah.
Taiwanese cinema. You've always it's so up there
Yeah.
as do you know? No one really talks about Taiwanese cinema with Edward Yang, Ho Xiaoshen, Simon Lang. Simon Lang. Check out Dion's review of Days.
Thanks.
That's
Oh,
I
that
mean,
was Days was
yeah.
a very good film. I
Days was
very
really good.
impressed by it. I always forget that Thingy has a third nipple.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Sheng.
Yeah. Anyway, what else have we got in the comments? We're open to conversation now, guys. If you've got any questions or whatever about anything in general, it doesn't have to be directors. Go for it. Graham knows a lot about cinema. Like, he's our guest. Ask him as many questions as you want. How many
Just
Blu-rays
not
do you
Asian
have?
cinema. I don't know.
Too many.
2,000 or so.
2,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Those
Is it
are
all in? Is that like your little office? Is it?
yeah. No, they're not all in here. That's doubled back.
Is it?
Yeah, and then there's like I've got a load down here, and then I've got some.
Yeah, I've
Through the
doubled back
living
my shelving now. It's
Yeah.
just it's hard to pick out Blu-rays now. You have to like
Yeah.
take out a bunch and like think. Remember
Yeah.
where you put them.
I find double backing to be like sacrilegious to my collection, so I try not to do it.
There's nothing
It
you could
strangely
do.
works. I know where everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I like it. Who else have we got? Check out Lijo Jose Pelliceri's movies from India. That is also on my list, Roman, that I'm hoping to go into. Stray Dogs is in my PS4 right now. Kurosawa equals cinema. That's why he wasn't on the list, because there was no point going into it.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest. You know, if you start talking about Kurosawa, Ozu, it's just it's point. You know, they are the greatest.
Yeah. Kukerberg said, I said Ozu about an hour ago. Yes, you did. Sorry. I apologize. This stream is going too fast for me at times.
Yeah,
Nobody said Edward Yang, right? And we've gone to that. Tokyo Story is magical. Yeah, I would say it's the pinnacle of the Kurosawa movies, right? Like it's the most well regarded. No, sorry, Ozu is Tokyo Story. Yeah, I think it's the most like. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, he's like
not.
He's because you had at a time where everyone was making samurai movies, and then Ozu comes along with like these contemporary movies, and they were just, you know.
There's what else have we got? Simon Lang. Gray made a great Knife and Hat review. Yes, he did. I think you were the only one of the only YouTubers actually reviewed Knife and Hat, which
That's terrific.
It was a great giallo, like queer, like it was so good. I had Vanessa Paradis is so good in that film as well. That was that like a movie, right?
I got a screener through for it, so
yeah. There's an American Blu-ray, but there's no UK Blu-ray of it. Like I really am meaning to buy it, but then what was got? Just saw Baskin yesterday. Has Graham seen it, and what does he think?
I don't think I've seen that. I think is that the horror movie?
Yeah, Turkish horror movie.
Yeah, no, I've not seen that. Not seen that one at all.
I've heard it's quite crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bonkers. I mean,
yeah.
I only watched it because it's Turkish. I could watch it without subtitles, and it's mad.
Taking a note of that one. Let me check that out.
It's quite easily available.
What's the name of that Indian horror film that came out recently that everybody was talking about? I really forgot what it was called now, but like I saw a lot of people in like comments for like people's YouTube channels. Have you seen this Indian horror film? Why have you not reviewed it yet? But it's completely slipped me by. Maybe somebody knows in the comments, but not sure if he was mentioned, but Tsukamoto.
Oh, yeah, you know, Shinya Tsukamoto, Tetsuo Iron Man. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that. Yeah, his films are just
I was actually gonna put Yashiro Honda purely for Godzilla, but I was like, maybe not. I love all the kaiju movies. Anybody else like kaiju movies?
I do.
Oh man, they're so good.
Yeah.
I used to get like VHSs. There used to be like a magazine in the UK where you used to get like Godzilla like creature features. Destroy All Monsters is my favorite when they're all on that island. It's so bad, but it's so good. It's in that big Criterion book, right? I think. Have you cracked it open yet? Or...
I've started going through it, but
yeah,
you know, I've got so many other Blu-rays to go through as well. So I'm like taking breaks from it.
I think that's the thing. You can't overwatch it because you're just gonna lose your mind. I think, but it's always the same. What else have we got? No. I just watched Fires on the Plane remake. Was terrific. Anybody?
That is brilliant. That's my favorite Tsukamoto movie. But it took over from Tetsuo Iron Man. I just think that's a Third Window. I don't know if you got it, Graham. I really recommend it.
When's that? Sorry.
Fires on the Plane.
Who's released that one?
No, I don't
Third Window.
Third Window. Okay. Third Window are like on fire right now.
I know, they're amazing. They're doing brilliantly. Yeah.
I think the thing is as well. It's like so. It's easier to get licenses now.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely works. Who else have we got? Do you think we will get the Criterion Bruce Lee box set or have to import? Probably be cheaper to import anyway. I think it's going to be import.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get it.
I think it's more to do.
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, I think it's the licensing in the UK is just going to be a nightmare for it. That's why we don't get as many Criterions all the time. Because like I know that. Like, for example, Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel is coming out in America 28th of May, but we're not getting it because of licensing. So, and that's a very nice box set. But I'm doing an import on that one purely for the reason I just want it.
Is it just did it just get released from like Fox?
Yeah, so Fox released it on Blu-ray, and it's a really crap.
It's just
Blu-ray. It's just that, and like you got a couple of art cards and stuff like that. But this like Grand Budapest set is mental. I've seen some pictures of inside it. It's just really like I want to buy all the Wes Anderson like Criterions anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
I have all his Criterions as well.
Yeah, because like I did buy a few of the American ones, but obviously they've started releasing them in the UK, so it's not too bad, is it? But yeah, with the Bruce Lee set, I think it's going to be an import. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Yeah, can't wait for the new Third Window release of Tsukamoto's flicks, Killing and Haze. Not seen either of those yet. Have you seen them, Huss?
No, they're of his that I've not. I've seen Killing, but I've not seen Haze. I mean, Killing. I put a review up of it a few months ago. It was one of my favorite films of last year.
Yeah,
it's so good. Yeah.
We got World War. Well, I'm assuming it says World War V. Also, a shout out to Bruce Lee directing Way of the Dragon and the new Criterion announcement. Johnny asks, favorite movie to have in the background as a comfort movie or just background noise? Ooh, Graham, go for it.
Well, it's hard to say because background movies are usually ones that I love, but I end up watching them.
Yeah,
the ones that I keep putting on are Big Trouble in Little China and The Birds.
The Birds? Oh, really?
Yeah, I love it.
Nice. Jurassic Park is like one of my easier like background movies. I could just put that anytime. And like we've had this conversation, Spielberg movies are really good background movies in general. But I think it would be hard for me to put like a David Lynch film on in the background because I just would not.
You just end up watching it.
I would end up watching it again and again. Like the amount of times I've rewatched like Lost Highway over the last like 5-6 years is like crazy.
Yeah. For me, it's saying like Five Deadly Venoms because it just looks so beautiful at the same time, like the martial arts and these really cool masks.
Yeah. What kind of Western films do you have like as a background movie though?
It's a Western
Spice it up
movie.
a bit for you.
It would probably be something like a Van Damme film. I know. It probably would be. Or what was I watching the other day? It wasn't even. Oh God, I have to come back to you. Have to, you know.
San Andreas is another one I like rewatching, and Baywatch.
San Andreas
with the Rock.
The Rock.
I think they're decent. They're just like they're so bad that they're good. Like Baywatch is terrible, but I can easily rewatch it like quite a few times. Superbad as well.
Love Superbad.
Superbad is like I actually printed off the whole screenplay of it just to read it because I just love reading that. It's so funny. But the thing is, like once you like watch it so many times, you know exactly how they like say the lines and stuff. Yeah. So good. Tumbad is the name of the Indian horror film. Thank you very much, Cal. Yeah, Tumbad is apparently meant to be another crazy horror film. Excluding Criterion, what's your favorite boutique Blu-ray label? Well, you've got the king of boutique Blu-rays in our screen at the bottom here, so you go first.
That's hard. I mean, the kind of 4 go-to ones for me are Masters of Cinema, Arrow, 88 Films, and Indicator. And they all offer something different.
Yeah.
If I want a little bit of film school, I'll go and pull something out the Masters of Cinema collection. Like I've been doing this week. Like I watched Touch of Evil, the saga of Anna Tahan, M. Just Harikiri, which I was saying before. Like those movies are great. If I want a bit of Italian sleaze, I'll go to the 88 Films. Arrow's good for like slasher movies and kind of horror genre. I'm really digging the Indicator movies just now. And a lot of the time I've never heard of them, but I keep pulling out these movies, and it can be a mix of like classic or forgotten gems, and they're just wonderful.
Yeah.
And the extras that are on them, they've got this extra that's not on every disc, but it's
the limited set.
Yeah. They've got the 8mm cut or whatever, or the Super 8 cut, where they truncate the movie down to like 17 minutes.
Okay.
Because they used to sell the reels back in the day, and that's what you could run on one at home.
All right. Okay.
So it's really interesting to see how they take a movie that's 100 minutes and trim it down to like 17, 18.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Indicator for me at the moment are just they're pretty knocking it out of the park, I think.
For you, Huss?
For me, I mean, for special features, I don't think anyone can beat Master of Cinema and Arrow. Like when they get Tony Raines on that. But other labels, Plain Archive, I think do really beautiful editions. And then you've got Bud Blue, but they've only got one release. But they did a bit of Sweet Life, which is just their release of that is amazing. It's got so many like English-friendly special features on there. But Diskino as well. I mean, their packaging is probably the best, the most beautiful. But they're also getting like interviews with Tony Raines on their Asian releases, like hour-long interviews where he's just talking about the director and the film, and it's just so informative. They're just brilliant. I mean, they're a Chinese brand, and they're really hard to get hold of because they only released like 300 copies of their titles.
It's interesting in Asia how many like boutique lines there are, and everything is so limited to get. It's crazy, especially like when they do the Western films. Like some of them, I know there's like a new 3 set of The Shining coming out with. Was it Kimchi? Is it? There's like this like special editions. Is it
Kimchi DVD?
Yeah, is it? I think it's Kimchi.
I've been on their site for a while.
Yeah, I'm really bad with them. Like for me, I really like BFI releases. There's always like really good extras on BFI Blu-rays. That's like one of my personals. And in France, there's a company called MK2. They release like really good editions. I've got a very nice edition of Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me with like a lot of extras.
Wow.
There's more on that extras than the Criterion edition. So like I buy stuff from them quite a bit. Like I bought The House That Jack Built from there. Really good edition. Like if you just go on Amazon France, like you'll see like a lot of their editions, but they're really good. What else have we got? Nobody mentioned Herzog, by the way. I'm terrible with Werner Herzog films.
I've not seen many of his films.
He's a director I really would like to get into. I really like when he like turns up in how many Korean movies, but he's a bit more of a meme for me than a director sometimes, but I know that he's made some very good films.
Is he in the new Star Wars?
Yeah, he's in the Mandalorian.
Wow.
Right. Well, so we got in the questions. Tumbad, Herzog, got GBH on D-Steel as well as Isle of Dogs. Grand Budapest on Steelbook and Isle of Dogs. All the rest are Criterions. Roman says, love Herzog, my favorite director. I will watch more Herzog films before we have a chat, Roman, about anything. Because watch it down. Background.
It's just no one animates like that. It's just so beautiful. He's one of the best right now. I mean, I think he's going to take over from Miyazaki. Easily.
Yeah. Okay. I will have to explore this.
Garden of Words. Garden of Words.
Garden of
Check.
Words. Okay.
Garden of Words.
Okay.
That's a good film to start up from. It's only I think it's 45 minutes long, but
okay.
So beautiful.
Definitely have to give this a go. AGFA just put up a new tease for Herzog's Nosferatu today. Maybe a new restoration happening. Nosferatu is probably going to be the first Herzog film I watch because I've heard so many good things about it. True Lies is my background movie of choice. Okay, True Lies is a very good choice as a background movie. Very good. You guys like True Lies?
I like True Lies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Arnie. Oh, God. Cliffhanger is a good background film in the winter times. I've never seen Cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Who?
John
Lithgow
is the bad guy. It's Sylvester Stallone.
Right.
John Lithgow is a bad guy. It's when you think about it now, it's just so weird, isn't it?
I know. Anytime I think of John Lithgow, I just think of Third Rock from the Sun, to be honest.
I think Raising Cain.
I was raised on, Raising Cain is he did a lot. He was a bad guy in quite a few movies back in the day, wasn't he? And then he's just become this granddad kind of playing Winston Churchill in The Crown and stuff. Very interesting career, John Lithgow, definitely. But Third Rock from the Sun is a staple in my childhood. I used to love watching that show. Arrow are top notch. I think we can all agree that Arrow are a top notch label. I'm really annoyed that Jodorowsky set got delayed. I was so ready to dig into the rest of the films because there was a new Jodorowsky film on it as well. But that set looks amazing. Yeah. I was 55 quid for top tier cinema. I was I'm not going to say no to that. Plain Archive, yeah. Husk kind of got me stuck on Plain Archives, but I've stopped on 6. I'm not buying any more now.
I'm stuck now. I have to get every single one of them.
Yeah. I just can't unless I want it. I won't buy it anymore.
I mean, I think they've slowed down on their releases.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
I mean, they're starting to release books now, and
because I know, in Korea they've discussed quite a lot that physical media isn't that big of a thing anymore. Everything is streamable in Korea,
and they've all got better. They've got such fast internet.
Yeah, but the thing is, in Korea also, new films can be widely available on a premium streaming service now, rather than them actually going to the cinema even. So it does impact them. So maybe that's why Plain Archive are a bit more slow releasing stuff. Yeah. But nonetheless, this Parasite set that maybe or may not be happening is going to be a good set.
I think you're not going to expect that for
a few years.
For a few years, like they did with The Handmaiden.
Yeah.
That got released 3 years after, and it was you had 3 different steelbook releases and the digipack.
Yeah. Plain Archive, Indicator top notch by Ice Cube. I really need to check out more Indicator titles. What's there's the one with Jack Nicholson. He's a sailor and he's smoking on the cover of it.
The Last Detail.
Yeah, I really want to see that one. That's been in my basket for a few weeks now. But
I haven't seen that for years.
Yeah, I really want to check it out.
Randy Quaid in there as well.
He's got it right in front of him, I think.
Yeah. Yep, Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things, so I'm just really intrigued by it. Gung Fu says, by the way, I think a great background film is one with a great soundtrack. Yeah. What would be a great soundtrack for a background film then? Is that a booklet? Is there a booklet in it, by the way?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna buy it in a minute.
Gross Point Blank, a movie with a good soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who else would release a deluxe version of Waterworld?
So good. So good.
I still remember watching Waterworld on VHS back in the day. Do you remember the action figure line for Waterworld? I used to have the Kevin Costner action figure when I was a kid. My grandma bought it for me from a shop for nothing because nobody wanted them, but apparently they're worth quite a bit now.
Well, the Arrow Blu-ray that came out had the extended cut. The Ulysses cut.
Is it? Have you seen it?
Yes.
Does it make it much better?
Yeah, it does. It adds like an extra half hour into it.
Oh,
Yeah,
quite-
and it was really good going back and watching
mm,
the sheer excess of these practical sets that were just utterly bonkers. I really like Waterworld, to be fair.
Dennis Hopper. Wow.
Well, so we got Vinegar Syndrome is a great little label. The remasters are beautiful. I've never dealt with Vinegar Syndrome, but
Yeah, sleeves.
I've seen some of their releases.
Good.
Look amazing.
Yeah.
I jumped on the bandwagon about November, and I got the yearly subscription package.
There's a
So basically-
subscription package with them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they do it twice a year. I think it's May and November. If you buy that, you basically get every title they release that year. So
Okay, that's cool.
Wow.
So I ordered that in November. So depending how you pick it, I chose quarterly delivery because it's cheaper on postage.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, my first box is stuck in New York just now.
Oh.
So I'm just waiting.
Yeah, it's like if you're importing from America, I think I have to add like an extra 7 days to like any deliveries now. I think because I bought a few things from Wow HD, but
mine's landed in New York in the 20th of March, and it's still not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I've got stuff coming from Korea and Taiwan, and Taiwan is under complete shutdown.
Yeah,
so, and they're the ones that are like handling this whole epidemic so well.
Fair play. No doubt Vinegar Syndrome are great. Not a horror fan, but VS have amazing slipcovers. Anybody dealt with VS?
Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome, that's...
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting in the first box to come.
Is it like, do they make like commissioned artwork and stuff with it as well? Like style?
Yeah, I'm just looking at this stuff now. It looks amazing.
Okay. Have a look. Oh yeah, see, Roman says, put Mickey in, or MK2, as I said, are great if you're looking for French boutique labels. Herzog's Nosferatu is a masterpiece. Yes, Herzog, Nosferatu. Okay, Nosferatu is the homework for the day, guys. Out of your favorite Western directors, which one has best run of 4 films in a row?
Leone. For me.
Yes.
I think it's kind of unanimous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Carl, out of curiosity, who's yours? Because I'd actually really like to know. Fitzcarraldo is amazing. That is another Herzog film that I'm meaning to watch. I know there's a BFI set of his films.
Yeah, I think that may be out of print.
Is it out of print now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got it sitting up there.
That's your homework, Graham.
Yeah.
I apologize for the lack of Werner Herzog discussion here. I apologize. Tokyo Godfathers feels underrated.
It is.
What is Tokyo Godfathers?
It's the
3 guys that find the baby, isn't it, on Christmas? Is that right? No.
The animated film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Perfect Blue? Dion?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Probably one of the best animated movies.
I put you to shame most days, don't I?
Yeah, it's one of the best. I really recommend it. Like, in terms of story-wise, it's very Perfect Blue is. I mean, I'm going on to Perfect Blue now. Is very much in the times right now, like with the whole Me Too movement and stuff.
Stiff Kitten says, was watching Cashin early this morning as one of YHE first films to be shot totally on digital backlot. What are your thoughts? Anybody?
What's that?
I'm
trying to read the...
Oh, you're reading it? Okay. Maybe. No.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Sorry, Stiffy Kittens, please elaborate and then maybe we can go back on that. Kugelberg says, check out Herzog Lynch collabo film. I'm aware of it. I have not seen it, but I think Herzog and Lynch, like, collaboration. Yeah, okay. Which movies do you hope and obsess about to be released in a full uncut version with as much extras, extended scenes as possible? Ooh, I like that question. Mine is Ken Russell's The Devils.
Yeah.
Because it's not on Blu-ray to begin with. It is a fantastic film if anybody's not seen it. I think a few people have that I know on Letterboxd here. But there is a few scenes that have been cut out of the Warner Brothers edition of it, and they refuse to show it. But if you didn't know, Matt Commode and Ken Russell actually screened the full uncut version of it in a private cinema screening before Ken Russell died. So there is a print of it in existence, but Warner Brothers do not want to release it, and I don't understand why. I know what is in the cut, but I find it bizarre. And the extras that would go with that Blu-ray would be fantastic, and I want it now. But that's mine. That's my choice. Anybody else?
For me, it's Johnny To's Exiled. That because that's a cat-free film in Hong Kong, so it's like it's completely shown uncut, and I'd love to see that get a UK uncut release. I mean, Johnny To. I mean, they're releasing Throwdown on Masters of Cinema. I think they're he's had a few UK releases. I just want to see more of them. Yeah. And I think Exiled is his best movie. Yeah.
Okay. Graham, anything?
The only thing that kind of jumps out is True Lies. To be honest, I want a Blu-ray of that. I don't think there is one worldwide.
Is there not?
Really?
No.
Wow. I'm really shocked by that one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. You would imagine there would be a version of it. But...
what else have we got? A good background film would be Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Stiffy Kitten says the regular release or Waterworld has same disc as a limited edition worth picking up. Oh, so the uncut version, so the full length and the other cut are both in the standard armory, I'm guessing, right?
Must be, yep.
That's what I'm assuming. Okay. I might have. Okay. Oh my god, my shopping list is growing every day here. Yeah, because of the quarantine mail in New York is slow. Huss, are you getting the Flower Shanghai Blue?
Yes. Yeah. I've ordered that from Taiwan. That's a brand new 4K remaster. A Ho Xiaoxian movie. It's got Tony Leung in it. I mean, I'm hoping I get it soon. But I've ordered it with a few other Taiwanese releases.
All right, okay.
So it's coming in with a few other titles. So hopefully I'll get it soon. I got that from JS DVD because they've got loads of titles which are like out of print from like Yes Asia or any other Asian stockist. So check out JS DVD. They're cheaper than Yes Asia for the actual Blu-rays, but once you put on the delivery price, it works out about the same. And they work the same as well.
I've never bought off Yes Asia before. I'm always tempted, but I stay away from it.
Why?
Because I just don't. I don't know. I don't know.
I've used them like thousands of times.
I know you have.
And it's PayPal as well, so you're protected.
Is it PayPal? Oh, right, yeah. Okay. My mum says hello all. Hello, mum.
Hello.
Hi, Huen. How's it going?
Hi.
I'm sure she's drunk on gin right now.
Yeah.
Cal Hobday, any love for Gaspar Noé? Yes, I forgot to put Gaspar Noé on my list, but it's because I haven't watched any Gaspar Noé films in a while. But like Enter the Void, Climax, obviously, two of my favorite films. What the hell's the backward film? Irreversible. Irreversible is like probably my favorite Gaspar Noé film. I don't know why it wasn't in my head now, but I actually in Venice last year I saw the not the backwards edition but the straightforward edition of it.
Right.
So like Gaspar Noé showed it in the order that it would usually be in the cinema rather than the reversible way of it. So it was actually quite weird.
You changed the title of it?
No, I don't know. Vincent Cassel was in the screening with us. It was really bizarre. Like I've seen Gaspar Noé a few times, and I'm always like scared to talk to him. So but Gaspar Noé is like a top tier director in my opinion. But I apologize for not putting him on the list. It will never happen. But love to see Lynch's full version of Dune. Yeah, I would be very interested to see Lynch's full version of Dune also. it's just
How much of it was cut?
a lot.
Really?
I think I haven't got it in front of me now, but I think it's at least 4 hours long from what I remember of reading. Yeah, but I don't know. We can talk about it anyway. But Denis Villeneuve has said that the new Dune is going to be 2 parts, which is better because I'm actually reading the book right now, and I'm like, there's just so much good source material in this. It has to be. It makes more sense for it to be a 2-part film, and I think that's why production was so long. But it still sounds like it's coming out Christmas. I'm not too keen on the set pictures. I gotta say, the photos.
No, they look weird, don't they?
Yeah, like it's like it feels like Lynch's version of Dune, but obviously they're just stills. But I'm sure once the trailer comes out, everybody's gonna be like, oh, like this. But I will say this now, and I've said it a few times. I do not like Arrival. I'm just putting it out there.
What's wrong with you?
I know, but I really don't. I love Denis Villeneuve, but I hate Arrival. Hate is a strong word, but for me, it's just I just can't connect to that movie whatsoever.
What's your favorite of his films?
Enemy. Enemy is really good.
For me, it's Prisoners.
Prisoners is amazing. I got that Plane Archive. It's a really good Plane Archive actually. But yeah, I do like him a lot.
What about yours, Graham?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Arrival. Just to annoy Dion.
Yeah.
Maybe
no, I love it. It's great.
Maybe we should do a podcast like a Arrival debate, Graham. That would be quite funny, actually. Oh god, yeah. I whipped that one out when I want to cause a bit of controversy. Exile is amazing. Election 1 and 2 also great triad Black Society movies. I would also love to see Bruce Lee's The Big Boss in full uncut version with all the extra scenes, including the infamous saw in the head scene, which nobody has ever seen, only in pictures.
Wow. Yeah, I'd love to see. But will we see that in the Criterion? I mean, I've not read the specs for it yet.
Maybe that's the surprise. I'm sure if Daisuke was here, he would tell us because he's Criterion King.
Mr. Criterion.
Mr. Criterion.
Mr. Worldwide.
He is Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah.
Daisuke is a legend. He's such a nice guy.
He's so polite, isn't he?
Yeah.
I would love to have him on my channel and try to egg him into swearing.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It won't happen.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think he would do that. He seems like a
so
proper
polite,
gentleman.
isn't he? He's such a gentleman.
I love Daisuke. He's such a good man. I love his Romero glasses. That's my highlight of his facade. I love it.
So pleasant.
I know.
Yeah, he's such a gentleman.
Exactly. He's so good in his community as well. Like he spreads so much love about everybody's channels. Yeah. I really want, when I go to Japan, I really want to meet him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, definitely. Just like when I met you, Huss. We were on the beers last time. Yeah, took him for cake.
Cake one time and then beers the next time.
Beers and the lads. What a day. If anyone hasn't seen the doc on YouTube, How Many Corinne and Gaspar Noé hanging out and trying out crazy each other, watch it. It is a really fun documentary, actually. Just watching Corinne and Gaspar Noé just talk crap is just crazy, especially in a Western background setting. Cal Hobday is that the one where Noah wears his best cowboy hat and Corinne takes him to a skate park when Moms did LSD. That is the one, Roman. Yes, that is the one. It is crazy.
I really need to check that out.
Yeah. Is favorite J horrors, gentlemen?
Audition, Grotesque. Oh, would it count? Maybe I would probably put Cure.
Oh, Cure.
Cure is brilliant. Kiyoshi Kurosawa. I don't know why I didn't put him on my list. He's amazing.
I'm telling you, maybe at the end.
His latest movie is it's got one of the really long titles.
Was that LFF?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it.
And it's sort of like a cross between Lost in Translation and Alice in Wonderland. And it's all filmed in Uzbekistan. It's like a Uzbekistan Japanese collaboration on a film. It's really good. It's so underrated. I don't know why no one spoke about it this year. Yeah.
Weird. Who's dealing with it here? Do you know?
No. I don't know if it will even get a broader release.
Okay, interesting. What else we got? I don't like Denis Villeneuve movies except for Blade Runner 2049. Ooh, interesting. Why, Roman, is what I want to know. Arrival is one of the best films of the recent years, plus Amy Adams. I disagree. Roman also says, I met him though, and he's super interesting person to talk to. I can imagine, like, you could talk about films with Denis Villeneuve like for hours. I can imagine. World War V says, Huss, since you're involved in going to Asian festivals, have you heard any more on the new Wong Kar-Wai 4K restorations?
No, nothing. I only know that Janus involved.
Films, yeah.
They're involved in it.
Yeah. I know that what for the information I know is that In the Mood for Love had a new 4K restoration and was meant to play at the Lincoln Center, New York, next month. The restorations are basically more or less finished. And then, like I said before, Criterion are scheduled to release it in December, allegedly.
I don't think it's going to happen, is it?
I don't think it's going to happen in December. I think it's going to be next year now. But the films have been sorted.
I think that's going to get a UK release. It must do, because what films of his are in print in the UK?
No,
I mean everything's out of print.
Chunking Express is the problem. I think in the UK, I think it's more the licensing with Chunking Express.
But isn't that out of print and the license
Kurosawa
still
had it? It's really confusing. That's why Chunking is so like a weirdly collectible movie. Also,
so expensive.
Yeah,
any edition you find of it is so expensive.
Yeah, because the isn't like the US Criterion, like they pulled it off the shelves or something.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Do you know how much it goes for on eBay? It goes for like, you can't get it for less than $100.
Yeah, like I said, I've got that. I've got the Curzon one. I got it for 14 quid. I'm using Magpie. I was lucky.
Yeah, I've got that as well.
Yeah,
just for the Tarantino like extras, because I've got the Criterion as well.
Yeah. What have we got? Gunfu says the full uncut version, Big Boss, will not be included in the Criterion collection. He has been an obsession of Bruce Lee fans since the early mid-70s. Nobody has managed to prove that it exists.
I would trust anything Kung Fu says about Bruce Lee. He's a massive Bruce Lee fan.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Pierre his name's Pierre. Yeah, massive.
Yeah. Stiff Kitten says Kiri. Okay. Stiffy Kitten, not seen Audition? ? That wasn't that.
That was from Audition.
Oh yeah.
No, when he's that bit with the cheese wire.
Hang on. I've not seen Audition yet.
Yeah, no, it's not a spoiler.
No.
Cheese, really nice cheese scene.
World War V says, oh yeah, it's in my head now. I remember, yeah, okay. World War V, Kino had the rights to Fallen Angels and Happy Together, but Criterion probably got them lately. Yeah. But there's no Criterion of Happy Together or Fallen Angels, is there?
No. They've only got 2 titles. They've got Chunky
and In the Mood for Love.
In the Mood for Love.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that they've got all the rights, or they're just doing a collab with every other studio that have the rights to the films. But it's going to be, I think it's not going to be like a Grail like set or anything like that, but it's going to be like one of those sets that everybody is going to buy.
Yeah, I'm day one on that.
Yeah, that's like an instant pre-order in my opinion. And I'd still keep my original Wong Kar-Wai Blu-rays also, just because he deserves to have doubles.
Yeah, triples.
Have you read the Battle Royale manga? It has many subplots and talk about graphic. Just Google it.
I've never read it.
No, neither have I. I'm not very good with manga, in all honesty, but yeah, there's Yeah, going through is also asking, does any of you follow or know of a female YouTuber that has the same passionate interest in movies like the rest of us that could be a cool live stream guest? There's a couple I follow. They are American based. Daisuke introduced me to one, but I'm so bad.
I don't know any.
I'm so bad with names when I'm talking on these things sometimes. Just give me a minute.
I know there's CP's girlfriend who does horror movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Emily.
She's English,
Mhm.
isn't she?
Yeah.
I must say it's interesting. Like Jerome Vaselberry, her name is. Like, she does like books and everything like that. She's like one of the only. And I know a girl called Casey Colsey, who's an Australian girl, but she's not really YouTubing much at the moment. But if anybody has any recommendations, feel free to like pass them on, because I'm always interested to find more YouTubers to talk to anyway. But that's a fair point going through. I'll definitely have a look into maybe who can join us. Obviously, because I write for a website as well, we've got a few female writers that might want to join us. I'm not really sure. Cal Hobday, I could wear a wig, dress, and speak a few octaves higher if you had. You can just come on if you want anyway, Cal. You don't have to go to that length. Thoughts on Joe Begos? I've only seen VFW, which was a bit wild.
Yeah, I really liked Bliss that he had out. That was a wonderful. I didn't even know roughly what it was about until the final 20 minutes, where it kind of catches you off guard. But that was wonderfully abstract. VFW felt a lot like Assault in Precinct 13.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. It was an interesting watch though. Like,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I I feel like I could easily watch his movies and be entertained, but I just haven't really had the time to go for it. Like, he's on, what's the name of that horror label in America? It's starting with an S.
Severin.
Yeah, Severin. Yeah. He did like a Severin closet kind of thing the other week, and I thought his choices were like pretty interesting. So yeah, I've not seen many of him. I saw that what's the name of that YouTube guy? Is it Karsten Runkrist or whatever his name is? He's really popular with like a lot of the indie film followers. He did like a Joe Begos retrospective. That's like the first time I ever heard of him. So yeah, that's all I know really.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Oh, we're good on that one. What else have we got? Severin Salad. Is there any movie you've been putting off forever that you should have seen by now? Oh my god. Have you got all night?
Yeah.
What's like for me, Yi has been the one that I've been.
Edward Yang.
Yeah, that's the one I've like definitely feel like I should have watched by now. Like,
yeah, I did a whole video just on that movie.
I've seen that. Yeah. Seven Samurai was one for a very long time ago.
Really?
For me, yeah. But obviously, I got into it then. But yeah. What's yours, Graham?
Oh, there's countless ones.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, especially me.
Barry Lyndon. I really want to see.
Barry Lyndon. Oh yeah, I've only ever watched it once, but it's a long movie.
It's the only Kubrick I haven't seen as yet. Kurosawa. It's one of those like formidable directors I need to watch. Miyazaki as well. I don't know. There's so many movies, and then just look at like populist ones as well. Like I've seen the majority of E.T., but I've never actually sat and watched it all from start to finish.
Okay. The one that I've never seen, and I will be bluntly honest, is Goonies. I have never seen the Goonies ever. That is like that one is like What my cousin is a massive loves Goonies, and she's like, "You have never seen it." I'm like, "Nope, I have never seen it, ever."
Mm.
So that's on my list of shame. But I've never been tempted to watch it. So yeah, I don't know. That's mine. But that's the thing as well. When you're a collector, you always have a watch pile, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the watch pile is ever growing. I've got about 15 Blu-rays I need to watch right now, but I'm so hooked on Criterion Channel. So yeah, that's my response to that. Just watched VFW, but preferred Bliss. Feels like you would have preferred Bliss if you knew beforehand how good the end would be. I've heard Bliss is like crazy. I'm wondering if Graham has seen any South Korean movies except for the international well-known ones.
I think most of them are just the more famous ones. Yeah, all the big ones. I did watch one just off a whim called A Hard Day, which I really enjoyed.
Oh, a really good movie, yeah.
Just I think it was a police detective just has a bad day, like progressive.
Yeah.
I think it's getting a US remake at some point. But yeah,
Oh, really?
it's all. Yep.
Of
Yep.
what?
Okay.
A hard day.
Oh.
Soul Station was pretty good. That was like the precursor for Train to Busan. Yeah, The Wailing. Yeah, it's all big ones.
I feel like The Wailing isn't like that well talked about though, is it? It's kind of weird.
It should be.
It should be,
that's
definitely.
awesome.
Because it's on Netflix as well. Like you think it would build like a bigger, audience. But Gung Fu says Bailey Walsh is a good female YouTuber. She loves Criterion in particular. I've subscribed already now to that. Thank you very much, Gung Fu. Goonies is a great movie. Arg, Dion. Arg indeed. I still don't know if I'll ever watch it. Goonies is awful if you watch it as an adult. Okay. Movies that traumatized you as a kid. Mine was Alice, Sweet Alice. Movies that oh my god. Anybody want to start?
There was two for me, horror movies.
Two.
And that was It and Candyman.
Candyman? Seriously?
Yeah, at the time. It was just
At
terrified.
the time.
I was only a kid. I mean, at the time, it scared the life out of me for quite a while, like for a few months. But
Never Ending Story freaked me out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just Oh, and as Eric says, Asian movie enthusiasts, Return to Oz is freaky when you're a kid.
Yeah, that witch.
That is
witch with the heads.
And Roeg's The Witches as well. Nick Roeg's The Witches with Angelica Houston. That used to freak me out. That big pointy nose and like the Yeah. For yourself, Graham?
I can't think of anything, but then I was a weird child that watched horror movies from a ridiculously young age.
Same. Like Exorcist never bothered me when I was younger.
Exorcist never bothered me either.
No, my
I don't know what it was about
by
those. But you know, the director of Candyman has just made a Japanese movie.
What?
Samurai Marathon.
Interesting.
Brilliant. I loved it. One of my favourite films of last year.
What else have we got? Do you think it's just a matter of time until there's a US remake of Parasite? Well, it's happening anyway. It's just a TV series with Bong Joon-ho and Adam McKay. It's a HBO series that's going to happen. They're in talks right now on how it's going to come out, and I think it's disgusting, but it happens. It's inevitable that was going to happen. You can't stop it. America needs to stay relevant with cinema, and this is And then Adam McKay also, like, don't get me wrong, I really like Big Short, but I just don't really understand why Adam McKay, Bong Joon-ho.
That's such a weird mix, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. It's just but I think after the Golden Globes this was announced, wasn't it? I don't think there'll ever be a film of it, but this series seems to be there, slide into his world. But I'm surprised that he's said yes. I thought his artistic integrity would have withstood the money, but obviously I'm guessing the money was.
And it always pushes people to watch films with subtitles. Have you seen his Criterion Closet?
Yeah, I love his Criterion Closet.
And there's a bit where he talks about persona, He says, I've got the DVD of this, but I lent it to Park Chan-wook and he never gave it back.
Never gave it back to me. Yeah. No, I can easily rewatch Criterion Closets very often. Like the Gaspar Noé one's one of my favorite ones, especially when he talks about Sallow. Like Sallow is a fantastic film. Huss needs to put Graham on a 3-week South Korean movie prescription. Oh my god! Imagine that.
I'd take
Dr. Huss.
There's lots of films to watch, especially on Netflix and Prime. And you've got both of those, haven't you?
Yes,
Graham. Yeah. I need to look through it and see what there is.
You send me a list and I'll have at it.
Yeah. I think that's the thing as well. It's just like because all three of us have like such different points of cinema on our channels. It's like, I think for me, it's like I do concentrate a lot more like modern films, but I'm trying to improve like my back catalogue. But yeah, it's always the same. But with you, Graham, like you go from like B movies to like 50s, 60s films. Like it's like all over the shop. And then obviously Hush then leads us in the Asian front. It's such a good like combination of people. I think that's the cool thing about it.
Broad spectrum.
Exactly. Goonies is worth watching just for young Josh Brolin. I'm not a big fan of Josh Brolin either. Before trashing, anybody? The penguin in Batman Returns bothered me as a kid. It's pretty freaky, especially when he eats the fish. You know, when he eats the raw fish and the blood's coming down, and that's disgusting. But Batman Returns is my favorite Batman film, personally. But
it's for walking.
Good stuff. Only HBO thing I'm looking forward to is The Last of Us. I've never played that game, but it sounds like a pretty interesting game to play. I'm not a gamer at all, but I've heard good things about The Last of Us. So thanks for the tip of a TV show to avoid. You're welcome, Johnny. Cinema Monologue Safdie Brothers Criterion Closet is great. The Safdie Brothers went full out when they did their Criterion, and like, they pillaged that closet.
Break that closet. It looked like that tote bag was about to rip. Yeah,
it was, wasn't it? Like
just taking a bin liner.
But this is the joy about the Safdies as well, is so that their passion for film is really addictive.
Yeah,
and their knowledge of film is so good. Like whatever they bring to cinema next, I cannot wait to see. I think they along with Began are like three sets of filmmakers. I'm really looking forward to see what they have to bring to the table. But like I've said a million times, Uncut Gems is like one of the best films I've ever seen in my life.
Great, good times. Wonderful.
Talking about Began, his first film, Carly Blues, is on Prime. Right. I really recommend it. It's just
got one of the best long takes in like modern cinema. Along with obviously Long Day's Journey into Night. Yeah. That Blu-ray is on hold again, you know.
Really?
Yeah, Amazon.
We were talking about it last week.
Yeah, I spoke to New Wave the other day, and I said, "Oh, Amazon aren't dispatching," and said, "What's going on?" And they just said, "Oh, we've sent the blues to their warehouses, but they're just not dispatching." But obviously, with other things that are going on, it's fair enough. So
are they sending you a copy?
No, I paid for it. I try not to take free films from like smaller companies just because I'm like I'd rather support them financially and just spread the word really. So
yeah, I've never had any free Blu-rays.
Only
once. 88 Films sent me Seafog.
Yeah. No,
I don't think they knew how people would take it.
Yeah.
Like a Korean film, quite a modern Korean film that wasn't a big title.
Do you get many Blu-rays, Graham? Or?
It's all screener copies, so it's just
screeners,
the disc.
Yeah, I usually get check discs as well, but like sometimes they'll give you a couple, but like I said, I try not to take off like the smaller companies just because I'm just like I'd rather support them and pay for the films. I think it's more fair. You guys have Asian Movie Crush in the UK free streaming service, do we?
Who?
Asian Movie Crush in the UK? Do you never?
It's don't know. Online. I think it's an online service. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
I thought it was an American site.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Stiffy Kittens, talking about films and TV, have you seen the inspiration for Stephen Sondheim's Traffic? It's on all 4 right now. Great miniseries. Prefer it over the film. I didn't know that, and thank you very much for that, because I do like Stephen Sondheim quite a bit. Going through what The Last of Us is going to be on TV series. I love that game. Yes, it is going to be a TV series. It makes more sense to be a show from what I'm gathering than a film.
Yeah.
But
Would it not be like The Walking Dead?
that's the only fear I have, because I think The Walking Dead is like a really overrated show. But I really like the comic books, by the way. I used to read them all the time when I was in uni. Loved them. As a kid, I loved Batman 89. Couldn't stand Batman Returns. Now it's the other way around. Yeah, Batman 89. I really don't think it's aged very well, personally. But Batman Returns has really good rewatchability, and also I enjoy like weirder Tim Burton aesthetic films. Like Ed Wood is such a good Tim Burton film. But Tim Burton's like the first director I ever got into, I think, when I was like younger as well. But his latter films have been abysmal. Yeah,
it's Disney films that he does now.
Yeah, basically, he's like done Dumbo, done 2. No, he did 1 Alice in Wonderland film. What else has he done? I've kind of impressed. Yeah,
I like sort of like.
Yeah, like Dark Shadows was alright. I thought that wasn't too bad, but
Big
most
Eyes
of
he
it.
did.
Big Eyes. Ugh, yeah. No, it's just a bit weird, isn't it? World War 5 says IMDb just put a little video celebrating Asian cinema today. You guys should give it a look at. I'll check it out later. Didn't know they actually put it up, but I don't check IMDb that much, to be honest.
Okay, I sort of like when you start seeing films going on there, which is just like Marvel film. It's just because of like this mob of people, and it's this community are just going to stop watching classic cinema, and we're just going to feel. You know, I've had people say, "Oh, you know, I've never watched The Godfather. Not really bothered about watching it," or you know, it's this sort of like community on Facebook, and then they say, you know, I won't watch Parasite because of the subtitles. And I never really heard of this.
Yeah.
I think it's because we're European and we don't really, you know, we've had quite a small European community of filmmakers. We don't mind, but I think America is, now that they're starting to get more eclectic with the films that are going in there, maybe they just don't really want it.
Definitely.
I don't know. I never understood. I never thought this sort of mentality existed.
Yeah, it's baffling, isn't it? But what I find interesting in America as well, they do release a lot of foreign titles, a lot more than the UK do. Like, I would say, like, we scratch this, like, when it comes to French cinema, for example, we, like, scratch the surface every year. Like, if you go to America, you'll be able to buy the Blu-ray quite soon after release. But here, it's just, like, it's a bit weird. Like, releases are strange. But I think it's always a shame when a good film gets ignored also. But I just don't understand the mentality of, like, subtitles a bad thing. They're not a bad thing because it just opens your eyes to like better films, in my humble opinion. Yeah. It's just really weird. Like when have you guys seen that film The Platform on Netflix, the Spanish film? Like literally I put it on my Netflix on my TV, not changing my preferences or anything like that, but they gave me the dubbed version, the English dubbed. Yeah, and I'm just like, why are you giving me this dubbed version when I know it's in Spanish?
Yeah, had to pause it and change it manually.
Yeah, I just thought, they just speak in English to begin with. Yeah, it's really weird. So, that was a weird thing that Netflix did with that. But at least I know it wasn't just me then. I just thought it was just me being ignorant. But no, it was really bizarre. Have you watched The Platform, Huss?
No.
It is such an interesting little horror, I guess.
Yeah, social commentary.
Yeah, it's really good. I had a good time with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it.
Jack Nicholson is a terrible Joker, but he is just playing himself. That's true. But at the same time, I kind of do like him at the same time. I don't know. I just like Jack Nicholson quite a bit. Find it hilarious. Safdie's empty the Criterion Closet. Hell yes, they did. Find it hilarious how there are so many one-star reviews on Godzilla box set even months before the release because the films weren't dubbed. Really?
Is that true?
Is that on Amazon? I'm guessing. Oh god, yeah. It's always weird, isn't it? But I think obviously back in the day, like it was really difficult to get Godzilla films on without dubbing. Like all the original VHSs were all the same, weren't they? Like, you just couldn't get it. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
I'll be honest with you. I still watch Shaw Brothers films with a dubbing, only because it feels natural for me. Just because I watched it as a kid, and I think people still want that original dub on there, on those titles, because it's what they're used to.
Yeah, I watched the dubs on the Italian horror movies from the 70s because it was all done post-production anyway. Yeah. It was all mixed languages when they were filming it.
Yeah.
So I thought
Spaghetti Westerns are dubbed.
Sorry?
Spaghetti Westerns are dubbed.
Yeah. Just the way it is. I don't mind that. But for a proper kind of movie that wasn't post-produced like that, then subs is the only way.
Hello, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, my phone, I had to swap. So, can you, am I in?
You're in.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Sorry about that. I need to get a better camera. It's a bit weird. What else have we got here? You want to carry on with your dubbing stories or no?
No, I think that's us.
Yeah.
Okay. What else have we got here now? The people that want to watch a movie because of subtitles is sadly common in the US. Yeah, it's weird. It's like we have said there now. It's just here you're just used to it, I think. But I find it baffling. I really don't get it. Have you got the new 4K edition of Elephant Man? It looks amazing. I have the 4K edition. I just haven't checked everything out of it yet, but it's a pretty nice set. I do like it quite a bit. Have you got it, Graham?
No, not yet. I'm not hugely into 4K as yet. I've got some, but I feel that they're price prohibitive at the moment.
Yeah, I just fancy that set looks quite for 34 quid. I was like, maybe, but I went for it.
I don't have a 4K.
So far, it's impressive. Yeah, 4K is the same with me though. I'm not the biggest 4K fan. Otherwise, it's so pricey.
Yeah,
especially when you've got like these like big titles that are coming out in cinemas, and you're just like, do you really need a copy of like The Hunt 4K? That's my question to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it really that necessary in your collection? Roman said, "Yeah."
How much of your movies are recent movies that you buy?
Not very frequent.
Because I'm all like older movies.
Yeah, I try not to. Some of them I buy, but like. Do you know what one I have bought from America is Underwater?
Right.
Because I really had a lot of fun with it, and I feel like I'm going to rewatch it quite a bit. But when it comes to like newer films, unless I severely enjoy it, I won't buy it. Like I bought Uncut Gems on Blu-ray from America because I really wanted it. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, it's more titles that I really like, and also I buy titles that I find very difficult to find online to stream on services. Like that's how I do my purchases personally. But yeah, and then because I used to get really I used to be bad for just picking up titles just because it was a certain line, and then I learned my lesson quite fast with it because you're just buying them for the sake of owning them sometimes. And I find it hard, but that's just my stance on it.
Yeah, that was my problem for the longest time.
Do you buy? Say that again.
Do I buy?
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Do I buy what?
Hello?
4K?
I think this. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I just taken my headphones off because I'm struggling to hear everybody now. Okay. Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry.
Who, Graham?
Go Huss.
I don't know. You were going to ask me. Do I buy
No, I was waiting for your question.
Graham's?
I can't remember what I was saying. It's like a comedy sketch show.
All right.
No, it's gone.
Well,
No.
I'm gone, am I?
Hello? Yeah, no, we can still hear you.
Carry on talking if you want.
Can you hear us? I think he can't. I think he'll come back in a minute.
Yeah. So what about you, Huss? Do you buy mainly older movies, or do you get a lot of new Asian films as well?
I'll pick up the odd new ones. I mean, I've stopped getting new Korean films for a while because after 2016, Korean films were starting to like dip in quality. You'll get one or two great releases, and I'll buy those. But I mean, there's a certain dip in Korean cinema at the moment. Of course, you've had like Burning, and you've also had Parasite. But yeah, I don't buy a lot. But from Chinese titles, and I'll buy more older releases that have just come out. Other than that, I don't buy a lot of new titles.
So see, out of
No.
your collection that you've got, how many do you have there that you've never watched or never pulled out and opened up?
Only a small handful because I tend to watch them before I put them on my channel, so I can really go into discuss them and answer people's questions. So that's why I show like maybe 3 or 4 titles like a week or something, because they're what I've seen. I mean, I understand people showing like a stack,
Yeah.
even films that they've not seen, but because of the cost of importing Blu-rays from abroad, Asian titles, I can only get a certain amount, a week or something. So I'll watch what I can and show them. Yeah. What about yourself?
Previous to this year, I was just buying like constantly, and the titles were mounting up, and I was buying the big stacks that you could never get to watching. So like this year, I made a conscious decision that if I bought something, I watched it as soon as it arrived. One, to like stop overspending, and two, to make sure that I'm getting the use out of something that I'm actually buying. So this year's been a huge change, and I'm trying to work through my collection.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've been watching your videos and seeing that you are going through like titles. I mean, what was it you watched the other day, that an Asian title that I saw you said, I'm gonna give this a try.
It was a couple of, it was like Harakiri or Black Magic 2.
Black Magic 2.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah.
Just complete bonkers. I picked it up because it was cheap, and I thought I'll give it a watch, and it was kind of reminded me a bit of Italian horror from the 70s.
Yeah, it's very much like that. Yeah,
which is exactly my kind of thing. Bonkers in all the right way.
Of course, yeah.
So like that was great. But just doing things like that, just pulling movies out of the collection, it kind of justifies it a bit more. I've got so many here that I've never watched, and it's pointless if I don't use it.
Yeah,
no point having them, really.
I know.
So,
yeah,
I get caught up a lot of times. Got that OCD collector nature. When you see something with a number, I'm like,
I'm actually stuck on that with Plain Archive at the moment, because like I will buy literally because I have every single one, and now you come to that point. But luckily they release great titles, which I don't mind. But yeah, I will. If they release something that's really bad, I'm stuck to buy. I have this mentality where, because of the number, and to have that gap there, it would do my head in. But yeah, I know what you mean. And it's
frustrating.
it is. I think at some point I will snap out of it, and think I can't be bothered with it.
I don't know, because I do the Masters of Cinema, and that's up to like 230 now.
But there are so many great titles in that.
There are.
Is there anything that you don't like in that collection?
There's nothing I've discovered as yet.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of ones. I watched one today, which was a really weird Japanese movie called the Saga of Anatahan. Or Anatahan. I've got it here actually. And it was.
Oh no. Oh, what's that?
And it was weird because it's all Japanese actors. It's directed by Joseph von Sternberg, but the Japanese people, they all talk in their language, but you never get subtitles, and you just have this narrator the whole way through telling you the story.
It's like a silent movie.
Well, you can hear everything that's going on.
Yeah.
It's all sound. You just don't get subtitles for when they're...
It's a silent movie with people talking, sort of thing.
Yeah. You just don't get straight translation. You just get a narrator telling you the story, and it's basically like these guys at the end of World War II, they get trapped in an island, and they're stuck there for so many years, and they don't know that the war's over, and just it was a weird one, but again, it was still really interesting to experience and see something as weird and different as that.
Yeah, that collection, it's great that it allows people to open up to cinema from across the world. It's really nice to see like Masters Cinema. It's basically our version of the Criterion before Criterion came to the UK.
Like I was saying before we went on, that Harakiri was utterly breathtaking from the opening scene.
So slick.
Yes. Yeah. And just some fantastic scenes, like the moment where the two guys are walking towards the duel, and it's got those trees that are just waving in the background. It's just like stunning imagery. Like that was just wonderful. And the tale was captivating. Yeah. And that's probably something I've had sitting on my shelf for a number of years.
Yeah.
It was great. So what have you been watching recently?
Do you know what? I've been watching a lot of stuff off my wife's Netflix. A lot of Hong Kong cinema, Chinese cinema, films that I've seen, but it's just, you know, even though I've got a stack of films to watch, I'm still going through some stuff that, you know, you just, when it's there, you just feel like, you know, watching it.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of anime with my daughter. I watched this animated movie the other day. Is it I Want to Eat Your Pancreas?
Okay.
It doesn't sound it's about a young girl who's terminally ill with something going on with her pancreas, and it's just like a sort of like a love story, but it's not. It's like a friendship blossoming. It's beautiful.
Just a question in the chat there. It was the Kobayashi version of Harakiri that I watched. I've not seen the Miike one. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. It's like it's one of his last films that were great. It was great
because he did that back to back with 13 Assassins, didn't he?
Yeah. That was his last great movie up until First Love. Which I think is brilliant. Such a great movie. Yeah. It was one of my favourite films last year. It's so much fun.
It's like a proper black comedy.
Yeah.
You could see that getting an American remake at some point.
Yeah. It could easily be remade. It feels like a Japanese version of like Lock, Stock.
Yeah.
Because you've got so many characters and they're so intertwined.
Yeah. I mean, the girlfriend was my favourite. She was...
Yeah. And her dad, her dancing dad, brilliant. Oh, Dion, back.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's fine.
Well, you've been talking about...
We're just talking about you. No, we're just talking about Miike and our collections, Master Cinema.
Have you ever done like a full like Blu-ray collection, Graham? Before?
No.
Would you ever?
I think I'd have to break it into chunks.
Yeah.
Like
when you got them stacked behind each other.
Yeah, it's
I've
like
got the same thing, and it will just be such a headache to do.
Yeah. Like it's
Definitely.
all my labels I've got separate. Like here's all Arrow, Masters of Cinema, and then I've got like Indicator next to me, and then I've got 88 films in another room, and then behind that's just like generic titles just from all the studios in alphabetical order. So I roughly know where everything is. It's maybe something I would think of, but such a chore.
Yeah, I know.
It feels like a
Do you
headache.
like?
Everyone keeps on asking me, go on, do it. I really want to see your
Yeah.
collection. And it's just feels like, do you know, I'd love to show you guys, but you honestly don't know what a headache it would be for me.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Do you like? So, do you actually know everything that you've got, or is it just all off the top of your head what you've got in the collection?
No. There's things. I've bought a couple of. I've ended up with, and you always feel like a fool for doing that. Mostly my titles these days are all boutique titles, and Masters of Cinema, I kind of know what I'm missing. Indicator's the same. Arrow's the tough one. That's the one I need to always check before I buy anything, just to make sure that I don't already have it.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
I'm
Interesting.
big in the boutiques. I like all those.
Yeah, my collection is a lot smaller. Like
probably more curated. Because a lot of my titles are blind buys that I haven't seen that I want to see at some point.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you like? Do you just know what you have, or do you just?
I tend to know most of the what I've seen most of the titles I buy. There'll be a few blind buys, especially with like some of the boutique labels, like Graham said. But I've got the some Golden Harvest titles, which I know Eureka and 88 Films are releasing, and I won't buy those again because I already have them, even though they're probably not true HD and they're on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I don't feel it's a necessity for me to buy another Blu-ray just because it's slightly better picture for me. Because I mean, I don't sit that close to my TV for one thing, and I can't really see the ghosting around the screen, like the 1 pixel, the half a pixel on each side, which no one will really see. But yeah, I tend to buy them if I don't have them in my collection, and they're titles I really love. There's some titles I didn't bother really picking up. I mean, I was oohing and ahhing about Old Boy, that whole set from Arrow.
Arrow, yeah.
Because it would end up being my 4th edition of Old Boy. But then again, I was like looking and I was like, I don't have Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. So I ended up buying for Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. My collection is so small though.
Yeah. It's just a thing about space. I mean, like I said in the last video we did, I put it in a box and sent it down to Brighton to my mum and dad's house because they're films that I probably won't watch as much. A lot of my Western movies I've just put in a box because they're all on Sky, Netflix, and Prime.
Yeah. Yeah, I have started to embrace a bit more of like digital platforms now, like rather than actually owning them. Especially like some titles I might just only watch maybe once ever in my life and maybe want to revisit another time. But I think it's kind of like opened me up a bit more to being a bit more selective with what I'm buying.
Yeah, but
that's my revelation of lockdown so far.
A lot of the digital stuff probably will never come onto physical media.
Yeah. Obviously, there are certain titles that I would prefer to own on physical anyway, but I am starting to see the positives of streaming, which I didn't really appreciate it that much until I started digging through that Criterion channel. That's like kind of opened my eyes so much.
Yeah. Do you also have Mubi?
I've got Mubi as well. I use Mubi. I use Criterion. I use BFI Player. Then I've got Netflix, and I've got the Now TV and Disney Plus.
Disney
So,
Plus.
yeah, my sister's paying for Disney Plus, so I'm quite glad I don't have to pay for it. But I'm watching all of Simpsons from season 1 to whatever it's on the platform. So I've learned a lot through the Simpsons in my life, so I love it. Shall we answer some more questions?
Sure.
What criterion titles? Have you answered the what criterion titles do you think are better on DVD?
Just see. Which criterion titles?
Do you think are better DVD release than Blu-ray because of their packaging? For me, it's Fear and Loathing, Videodrome, Brazil, and Royal Tenenbaum. The only one I've got on DVD is Jigoku on DVD, but there's no Blu-ray of Jigoku either, is there? So
I want to get more of their Eclipse collection.
Yeah, the Eclipse collections are really difficult to buy, though. Sometimes aren't they? They're quite expensive.
Katsu Noir.
Yeah.
It's like all the old, crime movies that came out from Nikatsu.
That's cool.
Because they say the titles in the Eclipse collection will never get Blu-ray released. What I heard. So it's the only way to get these titles, unless Arrow at some point one day releases them. Like Occult is my passport. I'd love to see that.
What else have we got? Controversial opinion, but I think Burning is better than Parasite. Well, I like Burning more than Parasite. Burning is a fantastic film. It opened the world's eyes to Lee Chang-dong big time, I think.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna have to agree with that. And I love Bong Joon-ho. You know, I absolutely love the guy. But yeah, I think Burning is a better movie than Parasite. Bong Joon-ho's made Memories of Murder, you know, so it's no disrespect to Bong Joon-ho.
Question for Graham. Oh, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Graham, how do you arrange your movie collection by genre or alphabetical order?
By boutique, alphabetical order, unless they're numbered. There's a couple of series that are numbered.
Masters is spined, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I would. I like
it. You have Wings. It's a cinema of Wings.
Yes, that's number 1, I believe.
Yeah,
I love
that shot with the camera going into those. Oh, that is just one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a film.
Marvel Fan 45 is saying, I only own one Criterion, and the only other one I'll buy is Lady of the Portrait on Fire. I can't wait for that Criterion to come out, definitely. That's going to be a good one. What's the other one that you own, Movie Fan? What else have we got? I buy Asian Movie Enthusiast says, I buy movies that we'll want to watch again. That is the best way to buy movies, I think. There's no other way around it. If you're going to want to watch it and then flip it, it's quite hard, isn't it?
That's why I've stopped buying a lot of Korean titles, because a lot of the titles that are getting released now are films that I probably would never watch again. And there was a stage in my life where I was buying every Korean release, and then I'll just never watch them again.
What else have we got? Zane James X3S says Huss is the best. Without Huss, the show would not be worthy. Huss is like has Cartwright from Bonanza. A cult has Cartwright, has cults. That's some big praise, Huss.
A cult has Cartwright.
You're the top dog.
There's kind words. Thank you very much.
Bringing the YouTube film community together.
Guys, you need to watch these two guys, and you have to sub to their channels. I'll put the links below anyway.
King Graham. King of Scotland. That's my. Did
someone really say that about your accent?
Yeah, I still can't believe that one, actually.
You said last week.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Serious? I can't believe that, man. That's mental.
Yeah.
I hide my Welsh accent when I speak English, but unless I've spoken to my mum, and then I'm really Welsh. But
this is me trying to hide it.
Really? Put it on stronger.
it's hard to just kind of do it with like a switch. You just kind of fall into.
He's not a
Clockwork
performing
Orange.
monkey.
Is it when you're angry and when you've had a few drinks?
It's who I'm with. See if I'm with my
Yeah.
brother, it just turns into nonsense, and it's.
That's
I think
amazing.
the worst thing with the Scottish is the speed. Like we talk really fast.
Yeah.
You learn to
When
slow it down.
I went to Scotland for the first time last year, and then I was just like, I find it impressive how fast you speak.
Yeah, it's as if we're in a rush.
It's hard, but it's amazing how you fully understand what that person just said to you. It's brilliant.
What part of Scotland are you from?
I'm from the west of Scotland, just about 20 minutes from Glasgow.
That's not far from Glasgow. I went to Glasgow. Glasgow was an interesting adventure. I was there on an Easter Sunday, and I went to that giant FOP and CEX, and I was just like in a bit of a mecca, to be honest.
Yeah, the CEX is wonderful there. The upstairs,
It-
down there.
Yeah, the choices there were like, even like the international section, I was just like drooling.
Yeah,
I
it's
bought
great.
so much stuff when I went to Glasgow. It is an actual mecca of movies, and I never expected that from Glasgow for some reason. But I was very impressed. Very impressed. What else have we got? Dimitri. Oh, hello, Dimitri. How are you? Some of lesser known festival circuit films will never appear on physical media, so VOD is always a saving grace when it comes to micro budget titles. 1000% yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Stiffy Kitten said, I got the Mizuguchi Eclipse from eBay recently. I wonder how much that would have gone for.
I've got a Mizuguchi set from Masters of Cinema as well. I think that one's
Yeah,
Okay.
really
that's a
hard to
really
get.
hard to find set now.
Yeah.
Zane says, I bought a Harley on eBay, took a bus to pick up, and rode 3,000 miles home once. That's amazing. That's a movie within itself. Stiffy Kitten says, do you go Poundland shopping? Yes, I guess.
Yes.
I've done it a few times. I got Touch of Sin, the Janke movie there for £2. I bought a few. What did I buy? Oh, Independence Day Resurgence was one I bought because I actually like rewatching that. Don't ask me why, but yeah. Anybody else? Poundland Dying
What I
I
bought
go-
was very Brillo pads.
for Brillo pads. You
And
don't go for
very
the £2
I've
Blu-ray.
never bought Blu-rays from there. Everyone's starting to buy stuff from there, but
Yeah. Is it like Razor Wires is quite good for the Poundland finds?
Yeah.
He does. He gets some good stuff. I never get good stuff around here. Like I was surprised I got Touch of Sin, to be honest, for £2.
was that the
like,
Arrow?
The only reason. Yeah, the Arrow one. Yeah.
£2. Wow.
Yeah. I think is it Cal? I think Cal got some from Poundland as well, but I can't remember what he got now. The Kuckerberg says 80 Films putting out some more classic JC soon. Heart of Dragon, and they just put out Dragon Forever also. Clan of TR White Lotus comes out next week too, I believe. My God.
Yeah, I think that Clan of the White Lotus last week that got delivered to me. Heart of Dragon and Dragons Forever I didn't pick up because I've already got those titles on Blu-ray. But Heart of a Dragon, do you know, it's one of those films that I think has aged poorly due to the language they use for people with learning disabilities. I think it sort of makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable watching it sometimes. No, other than that, it's really good. Sammo Hung doesn't do any martial arts in it. It's just Jackie Chan. With Dragons Forever, it's all about Yun Biao.
Yeah.
Yun Biao is brilliant in it.
What else have we
a
got?
bonkers character.
What's that?
Yun Biao is a bonkers character he's playing in that one.
Yeah, he's just
I just picked it up. I just watched it for the first time. I thought it was pretty good, especially the end fight.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Stiff Kitten says, Dad's Scottish, Mother's Spanish. No one speaks faster than the Spanish. That is also very true. I would say it's a speed race between both languages. But Gung Fu says, Graham has a great accent, very relaxing to listen to. Yeah, Graham, you do have a very relaxing voice, by the way. I could easily just like listen to you talk
That's a
But,
nice way of saying boring.
Yeah. No, but you should. I was going to say this, but maybe you should do an audible.
Yeah, I'd make love to my wife if you playing it.
Well, I'm available for bookings.
Good. There we go. Also, going through says, what type of movies do you watch and collect?
I like a bit of everything, but I'm really partial to a bit of horror, especially Italian horror slasher movies. That's kind of they're kind of comfort movies for me. Those things, but I'll give most things a try.
Do you buy the what's the slasher film people, the red cases ones? Is it slasher
88
film?
films. It's the slasher classics.
Yeah. Do you collect them or no?
Yeah, I've got them.
All of them.
Killing it.
They're only as 41.
Oh, 41. Wow. I've only got the Sleepaway Camp ones because I really like Sleepaway Camp quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I think, oh no, is it 101 Films has Cherry Falls on Blu-ray, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I bought that the other day because I haven't seen it in a long time, even though I know it's not a very good slasher movie. But yeah. What else have we got? I'm surprised anyone has seen Independence Day Resurgence. Yes, but you need to remember the ending of Independence Day Resurgence. Brent Spiner says, "We're going to kick some alien ass." And then it just fades to black. And then it goes into the roll credits. That's a beautiful way to end the film, in my opinion.
He's that plays Data.
Yeah, he plays Data in Star Trek, but he's also in the 2 Independence Day films.
Yeah. I saw an interview with him on YouTube once, and he came across like a massive arsehole.
I've heard a lot of these Star Trek people are not pleasant people when you meet them in real life.
I can only assume George Takei is the only decent guy.
Kai looks like a laugh.
Yeah.
But what other questions you got? Dimitri says that he got Spring Breakers on the Babadook from Pound. Babadook was in Poundland. Okay, now that's a good purchase from Poundland, I would say. Yes, Samo plays the mentally disabled brother. Hong Kong films are absolutely appalling when it comes to people with physical learning disabilities or people with mental health issues.
And anyone that's gay as well. It's back in the 80s. It was appalling how these films are still getting released and they're just not aged well.
Yeah, but see, I got the same thing with Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon because I think that it's a bit badly tasted in the world that we're living in now. Just the way that he is in the film. I don't know if anybody else has rewatched it recently, but it doesn't really settle very well with me now. But that's just how I see it. But I think that's the problem with cinema. You can go backwards in time, and you have things like blackface and various other issues. It's just a part of film, and it's just something that they just can't really erase, is it? But it's still always prominent, unless you're Disney and you just hide all those films in a vault somewhere and never let them see the light of day. Like, was it Song of the South?
Yeah, I had a VHS that had like clips of all these musical songs with.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it had Song of the South in there. Yeah, that was just. Yeah. But I mean, Chinese cinema has improved. I mean, Mad World is brilliant, which is talking about someone with bipolar. That's such a good film.
Yeah, but you even see Chang Dong's Oasis. Like, I think it's perfect in the way that it deals with mental health and disabilities, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Italian horror and giallo films are great, says Eric. Kuckerberg says, I just picked up the new Elephant Man 4K. Everybody's getting this beautiful set. Is Graham picking up the Al Adamson set?
Not too sure because it's a little bit pricey and finances are the main reason.
Who's releasing that one?
Severin.
Okay.
I really want to see the documentary that they released or they are releasing. It was at Fright Fest, but I didn't get a chance to see that.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Do you go to the Fright Fest in Scotland?
Yeah, try to. And I usually get like the links to all the movies for the
London one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the last time I did, was it 50 reviews for it?
Oh yeah, I remember. It's in September, isn't it?
Yeah, August.
August.
Tail
Yeah.
end of August, yeah.
Yeah. Johnny says recommend Blood Rage, a rare Thanksgiving horror. I've actually seen Blood Rage. It's pretty interesting. Anybody else seen Blood Rage? Have you got it, Graham? Oh,
Yeah, I've got it up.
yeah.
Yeah, it's up there.
Because you got the one where there's like a slipcase version of it that was a bit
Yes.
harder to get, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember everybody was after that one.
Got it in
FOP, good old FOP. Oh, I miss FOP at the moment. Even though my closest one's Manchester, and that's like a 2-hour drive. But I could spend hours in that shop. What else have we got? Eric says The Nightingale is better than The Babadook. Same director, Jennifer Kent. They're both even pairing for me. Like I really did think. Have you guys seen The Nightingale? It's a really hard film.
No.
It's just about British rule in Tasmania during British occupation. It's kind of like I Spit on Your Grave, but a bit more realistically aggressive. But it's really worth a watch. It's on VOD, but it's a really good like second film from Jennifer Kent. When I watched it in Venice Film Festival, and then at the screening, this Italian guy actually spat on the screen and said really nasty things about the director because he just hated the content of the film that much. Like, yeah, it wasn't a very pleasant screening to leave. It was actually my last film when I was there that year as well, but definitely worth a watch. It's a hard watch, but it's a really good film to see. And then Cookberg says needs to check out Nightingale. Heard it's really disturbing though with the rape scenes. Yeah, that's true. Did you know Arrow has a 30-day free trial on Prime? No, I did not. Did anybody else know that?
No, but they've got a great sale on their site at the moment.
Yep.
I know. Yeah, I bought the. Did you get the Family Values one? I went for that one.
Oh, I thought you got that.
Oh yeah, you do. I bought that Phantasm 1 to 5 as well, the standard Amore set. Because I was like, was it 30 quid, right? 30 quid. I thought it was a good price for all of them.
Yeah, I picked up a lot of third window titles because they're just so cheap.
Yeah, no, there are good sales like on Blu-rays at the moment. Stiffy Kitten says, "Have you seen the French film Raw?" Oh my god, yes, I love Raw.
It's great.
Pick up the Aussie release, and it has loads of extras. It is one of the best like cannibal films, I think. But Julia Ducournau, the director of that film, she's making a new one as well. God knows what it's about, but I'm really really excited to see what else she has to bring out. But that film, like, do you feel queasy like even thinking about it, or
no?
No? When she eats the raw chicken, I feel really ill.
No,
even more than when she's eating people.
The guy's leg, I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just the French just cool people. Like they make really just cool horror films sometimes. Have you ever seen a French horror film called Frontiers? I think it's called.
No.
Where it's like basically it's their version of Hostel, but with like Nazi followers in a band, and they like take these teen kids to the farm and then just like torture them. It's a crazy movie. Yeah, I like it. What else have we got? Mentioned Garon earlier. If you haven't seen Gomorrah, then check it out. Gomorrah's been on my list for a long time. One of the best mafia movies. The writer had to go into hiding due to its realism. I think it won Cannes in 2008. Love it. I don't know if it won in Cannes, but I know it was quite big in Cannes.
Hasn't it got Criterion released?
It does, yeah. Yeah, it does. What else have you got? Star Plays has 3-month deal, 1p a month. That's crazy. I don't even know what's on Stars Play, to be honest. Have you guys ever subscribed to Stars Play?
No.
No, neither have I. I know of it, but I've just never. I might have to check that out. Seen the Lebanese film The Insult? Us?
No.
No, neither have I. Matters is amazing. Matters is a very good French film. I love Matters. I don't like the. Is it an American remake, Graham?
I've not seen the remake.
Yeah,
it's all the way for me.
Yeah, it's worth staying away. But I was really surprised by that one. We also got quite a lot of Arrow films on Prime, though. Their subscriptions. I watched Heathers the other day. Last time I watched it was 3 decades ago. Heathers is such a laugh. I love Winona Ryder. She was like my first ever like crush, like cinema crush.
Eskimo.
Kuckerberg. Oh yeah, really need Family Values set, but I already have Storm at Night Wish, so if only be buying it for like Father Like Son. But I believe the set is only way to get the latter on Blu. Yeah, like Father Like Son's out of print on standard Amaray, isn't it?
On its own.
Yeah, I actually had it for a long time, and then I just sold it to a friend because I was going to buy that Family Value set, and then it went out of print. So that's why I'm going for it. Recommend Le Samurai, the Melville film, French 60s noir. John Woo calls it perfect film. You like Le Samurai, don't you, Hus? Yeah.
Very. You know, it inspired The Killer, then The Killer inspired John Wick. It's all gone like full circle, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy how that film's had such an impact on like that type of film, like genre. But yeah, what do you want to do? Do you want to call it 5 more minutes, and then we've done a 3.5 hours? Anybody else with any more questions? Feel free to put them in. But yeah, I've had a good time with this, bar my technical difficulties. Have you?
Yeah.
It's been good. Obviously, like I've never spoken to Graham off like on a face-to-face level like this before, so this is like the first time. My first ever subscriber on my channel, my number one subscriber was Graham. So I always appreciate everything that you've ever done for me, my friend, and also hosts.
Yeah, same for me as well, Graham. I mean, Graham, you had me on your channel once, which was just amazing. You know, you've always supported all the other channels, which is so cool.
Try my best.
Yeah.
You're the godfather of all of this, my friend.
Daisuke is the gentleman. He's the man that's...
Daisuke is the gentleman. You're the godfather.
Yeah.
We're going to have to try and get Daisuke on the stream. I think it would be amazing. I think it's just the time difference, isn't it? But
I think we'll have to move things around for him, which we don't mind doing.
Yeah, I would get a red carpet out for that one.
Not saying I wouldn't do it for Graham either.
No, if we could actually give a red carpet, that's another thing, though, isn't it? Have we got any more questions? What's your favorite Blu-ray or DVD in your collection? Oh my god, I don't know. This always changes for me, but I have the 36 Chambers of Shaolin box set, which is the Chinese one that was released by the Shaw Brothers, and it's like this beautiful remastered box set, and it's like a digipack. It's 3 of my favorite films, and just, you know, in a great edition. You've got all the audio tracks from the Mandarin, Cantonese, all like the English raw audio tracks. It's just absolutely fantastic. You know, and it's got this really nice image of Gordon Liu holding a big pole on the cover. So that's for you, Graham.
My favorite set is my Hitchcock masterpiece collection. It's the one that has the film tins. You know, it's like 16 movies.
I love that one. Yeah. Have you ever been tempted to buy the house one yet? Because I'm still pondering it.
I think it's the same discs, just the packaging.
I know. I love the packaging though. It's such a cool set. I don't know. Like for me personally, I really do like my Carol Playing Archive. That's like Carol's one of my favorite films, and it's one of my favorite like sets that I've had from Playing Archive. Otherwise, I've got a Jaws digibook that I hold quite dearly. That Finnish collection version. I love that one. But yeah, I don't really have like a grail in my collection either. But yeah, that's kind of I
also have Still Walking, signed by Corrida. That's like one of my favorites. Yeah, that's also one of my favorites.
Carl's asking us, never really hear Age of Shadows mentioned, but I love it. Thoughts?
I love it too. A lot of people think it's overrated. I think it's brilliant. Kim Ji-woon, I think it's his last good film. Song Kang-ho, it's brilliant. You know, I love those Korean films where it's set in that period of like occupied by Japan, and you know, it's an espionage film. And it's a really good one. It's got a lot of emotion. There was another one similar called Assassination, which wasn't as emotional. It was more of a fun film, and it's got Ha Jung-woo in it. Most people might know him from The Handmaiden. That's a really good film. But yeah, Age of Shadows, I think is slightly better. It's also got Lee Byung-hun in it for a little bit. He's in a good, you know, role rather than like token Asian character.
Okay, I think, shall we leave it on that then, lads?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to close this out, Huss, since it's your channel?
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for everyone who's watched it. Subscribe to these guys' channels. They're amazing. Until next time, take it easy. Thanks very much, guys. See ya.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.